My team is just feeling good about it because this is our champion trophy. It means a lot for me and my team. Me and my team just very tired about it because we have 3 matches in a row and we have to play on the lower bracket. Wow! This is more stress for my team. And so at the first game, we lose to Tianglong 0-2. The main problem is my communication with my team because I got sick and my voice is not okay with it. And also my teammates have the same problem too because in our leader squad is also sick, and on the first and second game eligible, and one more game is the third. We against DNI. Yeah, that's 3 games. It's just can't communication clearly. That's why we lose. We have to reset it and talk to player a little bit more slow and clearly. That's why we can win the game. Because in this game, the communication is so important.
TXT actually captured me. TXT have done it. They have won that one. TXT found an angle to try to make it right. 70 in trouble. Wow. Triple. What? So good. The Rockets come in. Double overtime. Pulling a missile from the left. And a missile from the right. Kill after kill. A triple inside.
I have to say thank you to my teams and my team owner to support us. We practice a lot every day and just we can win the games. I thanks a lot for my fans that support my team and cheering us to the first day of the tournament, and for today we got the trophy. My team and I, nothing to say a lot, more than just thank you.
Gizmo, we've conducted a risk-benefit analysis of pursuing Saeed. His father believed he would grow into a fine hunter, and his subordinates are convinced they can accomplish change in Asaro by following him. Reese mocks his naivete, while Havoc deems him a significant threat. Our superiors have issued the following directive. Saeed's active vendetta against Havoc, who destroyed his village and people therein, presents an opportunity worth exploiting.
It's Saeed!
Rest in peace. Farewell. The hunt has begun. Check your gear. No mistakes. Crush them.
Got it, boss! On the way!
Cover me. Hold formation.
My room! Nice moves, boss.
Enough chatter. Move out.
Let's go. Hold on. Go, go, go.
Should we really be sending her to the front lines in her current state?
You ought to know her better.
Stop!
Lena Vandermeer, codenamed Vlinder, role support. Vlinder is a medical specialist from GTI Europe, specializing in pharmaceutical research, possessing outstanding medical expertise, and a strong sense of responsibility. Vlinder's med drones can be deployed to a targeted area, dispersing med-infused nanobots that restore teammates' health, providing them with an adrenaline boost. They may also be deployed on herself, following and continuously restoring her own health for a limited time. Her windmill smoke grenades are guided by gesture censoring tech. Upon impact with a service, the grenades create a cloud of smoke, creating cover for teammates.
Smoke grenade out.
Blinder's Flutter Rescue UAVs will automatically target downed teammates, administer medical injections when deployed. Once the injection is administered,
I've got you.
Blinder may approach the downed teammate and manually revive them. During deployment, the UAVs may also utilize their active defense system,
It's working.
automatically absorbing 1 instance of explosive damage per deployment, and applying a buff effect of Linder.
Counting on you guys. Vital signs stable. Prepare for rescue. I've got you. It's taking effect. I'm here. Feeling better.
Alonzo, hand it over to the Academy and claim sole credit for the Dark Matter project. It seems the Academy never taught you that efficiency boils down to cost calculation. And emotion is the greatest premium. The choice is yours.
Director, the board is ready.
The acquisition plan is a notice, not a proposal. Sign it.
So arrogant! The chairman will not approve this!
My father has grown old, and you are what remains of a bygone era.
What gives you the right to issue us orders?
You won't get away with it.
The first lesson my father taught me was to make sure everyone sees eye to eye. Now, do we have an understanding? Do not resist. I have already allied with Havoc. Dark matter is the future. Take them away.
Cut the nonsense, Alonzo. You overstepped.
Overstepped. I'm walking the path you laid out for me. Only now, I'm in charge. You're next, Demulan.
Humanity's greatest inventions have been born from a longing for better lives. nuclear power to light our homes, seismic waves to map the Earth's core. Yet we never quite learned how to wield our potential, invariably turning it against ourselves. Whatever the outcome of this battle, we have once again demonstrated this truth to the entire universe. A titanic force wrought by human hands that slipped from our grasp.
Stop for the flash! Hold on, I'll be right there.
The crust is extremely unstable. Be prepared for a big one.
All units evacuate the area.
This was caused by havoc. Destruction of their tremor system is crucial.
All units, defend the key objective. The crust is extremely unstable. The next one could be a major quake.
The enemy has activated the device. We're detecting a massive quake on the way.
Ma'am, you cannot stay here. The aftershocks are still continuing and the evacuation zone will be closed soon.
I only know that my child is buried here. Signal detected.
Ma'am, be careful. The earthquake's coming again.
My child is still in there.
But both GTI and Havoc rescue teams have already searched the area. It's too dangerous for you to go back in.
I have to go back.
Well, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Maybe it's still the morning. I don't know where you are. Welcome into the Elite Operations Show Match. I'm Goj. I'm going to be your host today. Really excited to do another show here with Delta Force. Folks, we just wrapped up an incredible live stream with our developers mere 30 minutes ago, and we're already back live for another amazing show match with some awesome creators. Excited to jump into this one. It's Operations, and it is going to be fast-paced, so you're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for tuning in. I gotta bring in some friends of mine, though. 2 friends, to be exact. They're gonna be hanging out with me all day in the booth. Let's bring them in. We've got Vivid back in the booth with me again. Haven't seen you since Vietnam, my man. Great to have you back. And we got the Beard Guys as well joining us as an analyst today. I gotta go to you first, Beard Guys. Ben, it is great to have you, dude, on broadcast. We actually just heard from you in the dev stream as well. How you doing today?
Yeah, that's right. I was watching the dev stream, seeing all the new stuff we're going up. There's loads of warfare stuff, loads of operations. So hyped about that. Obviously now all about operations, and can't wait to check out the tournament today, see how the players going to take it.
Dude, it's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be utter chaos. We've got some crazy names. Vivid, speaking of a crazy name, dude, you're friends with a lot of these guys that are competing in this competition. How you feeling about today? What are you thinking?
Oh, today's gonna be, there's gonna be a lot of internal like turmoil for me, right? It's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be casting over these guys, right? I want to be hyping them up, but at the same time, I'm gonna be absolutely making fun of them at every single turn that I get, right? Because I'm assuming they're gonna be making some mistakes, right? The competition is going to be fierce. The nerves, they're going to be playing a big factor, a part of this as well. So on one side of it, I want to be going ahead and supporting the boys. On the other side of it, listen, man, it's a competition out there. I'm going to be making fun of all of the mistakes and pointing them all out to all of you guys at home.
Dude, I love it, Vivid. It's great to have you in here. Both of you guys are big brain operations guys, okay? So, Vivid, you and I had a great time doing warfare in Vietnam. We've got to turn our eyes back to this operations game mode. It's one of our favorites, all of our favorites, and I'm excited to get into it as well. Let's talk a little bit about the format for today because, like I said, it is going to be utter chaos. I want to explain how this is going to work to everybody at home, and of course, if you've got questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. But today, this is what I'm calling a little bit of like a hybrid esports approach. This is going to be competitive, but it's also going to be fast-paced. So if you've watched any of our competitive operations tournaments, we are on the tourney server, okay? So you're locking in your loadout, but if you die, you lose your gear. To start, everybody will start with 1 million Technic Alloy per player, and they get that every round, even if they die. So you're never going to be broke. It's just a matter of how much money you have. You will have an ultimate save box 3x3, and you also have a 12-slot card holder, and you can get all the cards you want for basically nothing. Now, the upgrade here in this competition for this show match is that every single kill will net you 1 million Technic Alloy. So you're going to be rich if you're getting aggressive. And of course, like I said, this is going to be like a normal operations game. If you lose your gear, or sorry, if you die, you lose your gear. So if you do lose your gear, you either dropped it on the ground or you died. Now, looking at the rules of this, we are playing 4 total rounds. So it's going to be a little bit shorter than esports, and every round will have a Mandel brick. So you're going to see a lot of fights around an objective and probably that Mandel brick exchanging hands multiple times. Teams can get as many Mandel bricks as possible. Theoretically, a team could get all 4, but the leaderboard is going to be ranked at the end of 4 rounds. We will play all 4 rounds. It'll be ranked according to Mandel bricks and then your total loot value, stash value, which comes from your kills or your looting on the map, etc. The final rule, which we do in esports as well, is you can only use a single operator twice total as a team in this competition. So if you run 2 Lunas and a Stinger off rip, you can't use a Luna for the rest of the competition. Easy enough. Beard guys, I gotta go to you because we got a surprising update here with our prizing. Let's take a look at this graphic and Ben, break it down for me. We got a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, our players going to be hyped to see this. We got $6,000 coming in for first place. And this is for the first place team, or is this? I guess this is for the team, right?
First place team.
Yeah, first place team getting $6,000. Second place team getting $3,000, and third getting $1,000. Obviously, got the Mandel brick ranking situation as well. So if you have the most Mandel bricks, that's going to put you above any other team. It's Mandel bricks and then cash coming into it. So like you said, it's going to be hot fighting over all of those Mandel brick positions, but you still need to make sure you're getting money out at the same time.
Yeah, it's a great shout. A lot of money on the line, especially, you know, teams of 3. You're making sizable cash if you win this competition, so will be fun to see. That's our format. That's our pricing. But Vivid, it only makes sense that you got to talk about the teams for today. We got some heavy hitters on these rosters.
Where do I even start? I mean, you know, let's go ahead and talk about some of the strongest teams that I'm going to be looking at here. I mean, Team Sammy, they look absolutely stacked as well, right? I've ran into Muyo a couple of times in game. Incredible aimer there. We've got the newcomer to the game, right? The big name himself, Summit 1G, going to be teaming up with Mendo and Albra there. And this is a good team because Mendo is somebody in the game who likes to go ahead and talk through strategy, likes to kind of IGL in any of the games that he plays, right? So kind of bringing in somebody like Summit, who's very, very good FPS-wise, but doesn't necessarily know the game as well. It's going to be a good team there. Team J-Devised, Equal Plays, and Chab. Now, this is an interesting one, right? Because J-Devised and Equal Plays, they play the game very, very often, but Chab's been on a little bit of a hiatus, so my eyes are going to be peeled over there. I'm wondering how he is going to do in the competition today. Team Zaphok, I mean, this is one stacked as well. Zaphok, Psycop, and Rockstar over there as well. Going to have to be keeping our eyes out for them. Then we got Team Caffrey. Caffrey plays It's Nowhere, and saving the best for last on this team, I guess, is going to be Gorilla. This guy, man, listen, if you want to talk about strats when it comes to Delta Force, he does some pretty weird stuff, right? We're probably going to be seeing something that he's going to be doing today that we have not seen before in an esports event. I can almost guarantee it. So Gorilla's going to be entertaining today for sure. Then we got Team Breadman. Alongside him is going to be Voa and Boy. I think Boy may actually end up having to be substituted out for somebody else today. But I mean, this team, listen, they could have some fun today. Voa is a character himself, going to be probably, you know, giving us a little bit of a laugh as well. But it's still very, very stacked. Every single team is pretty even, which I think just makes this competition so much better to go ahead and watch here. And only 4 games to see who's going to be the one on top goes. It's going to be crazy.
Dude, this is going to be nuts. I want to hang out here for just a second to talk about these creators too. I'm seeing so much trash talk already in the chat, by the way. I'm seeing like, first of all, it's Mindo basically talking all the trash from what I can tell. So that's a classic. But Ben, I want to go to you. Is there, of all these creators, which I'm sure you know many of them as well, is there a team that you're like, all right, this has got to be the fan favorite, right?
Yeah, there's some strong players in there. I'm leaning towards my favorites a little bit from some of the guys that I got to hang out with when we were out in China last year, having a blast there. We've spent a lot of time with Chap and with Sammy as well. Both those guys in stacked teams, but I've seen Gorilla playing recently and seen some 1v3s that Gorilla's been pulling off. And I feel like I've got to have a lot of confidence behind that team. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Team Sammy, Team Caffrey. I feel that kind of where I could be leaning right now. But there's so many big names in there. It's hard to read what they're going to do, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's actually a really good shot. I've actually seen Nowhere compete in some of our esports competitions as well. And I think even, some of the maybe smaller names for some people that are not, accustomed to some of these competitions, Zapok's team, I think this is a really strong roster. Zapok has named his team the French Mafia. I think he might be the only Frenchman on that squad. I'm not sure, but either way you look at it, he actually coached the NA team that made it to LAN in China and got second place. So obviously knows the game very well, knows a format similar to this one. It's not the exact same, but similar pretty well. So definitely got my eyes on that roster as well. And then of course, Sammy always finds himself in a pretty good spot in tournaments like this. So I think Sammy's team might at least walk away with a little bit of money, even if it's not first place. So I really think it's anybody's game. I think there's maybe some strong contenders. I think the format is definitely going to yield some aggressive play styles. Let's talk a little bit about that, Viv. I want to go to you. This format is like, you've seen the esports, both of you, and then, Ben, you were on the broadcast briefly when we did that interview in China. So I want to hear from both of you. What do you think of this kind of, I'm calling it the Mandelbrick Blitz, all right? This is like esports hybrid format. What do you think about this one?
I mean, I love it because, typically when we do these Mandelbrick formats, we do have a couple of games that are kind of thrown in there where there is not a Mandelbrick, right? An opportunity for some of these teams to go ahead and, bulk up their stash so that way they can go into those rounds just fully geared up and everything like that. But with this one, every single game is going to have a Mandelbrick in it, so the objective is going to be very, very clear for every single one of our teams, which means that we should in theory have 6 teams looking to control a single Mandelbrick, right? I feel like in these past esports competitions where we have that Mandelbrick format, we've seen a lot of the times where the Mandelbrick, of course, as it is getting decoded, it gets stolen. And when that happens, right, the total amount of time it actually takes to decode it drops by about 30 seconds. So initially it starts at 4 minutes and then it'll drop down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and it can go all the way down to 90 seconds. And that's when it gets super fast paced. All these smokes start coming out on top of the Mandelbrick decoding station right there, right? People trying to slither in, snake in to go ahead and decode it. It's going to be crazy. If we do have 6 teams total going for a Mandelbrick in 4 out of 4 games, we are in for a treat.
Yeah, I love that breakdown. Ben, I want to go to you as well. What do you think about this kind of hybrid approach and more action-pass format?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be interesting now. Obviously, in the other format, if you get 2 Mandelbricks, you just win instantly. But that's not the case in this. We're playing all 4 games, so you could see teams getting, 3. Maybe one team gets all 4 Mandelbricks. But like Vivid was saying, you've got to play that Mandelbrick every game, or at least make sure you stay on par, right? Like if the max Mandels that any team has is 1, you need to have 1 so you can stay on that leaderboard. And if you get behind, then you just can't compete in that. And once you get down to that 90-second timer that Vivid was talking about, then it's just going to be crazy with 18 players potentially fighting in one area with different operators, because obviously they're restricted on the types of operators they can use. They can only use a certain operator twice in total. So yeah, we're going to see some Cenavers and all sorts getting used, I think, and it's going to be pretty wild with the talent we got playing today.
Yeah, I like that breakdown as well. We got a lot of operators to choose from. It'll be fun to talk about some of those meta comps. While we've got a moment, we are waiting on all of our creators to get kind of locked and loaded. They got to make sure everything's ready to go on these tournament accounts. I want to give a little bit of context to this format as well. Maybe you only watch these show matches and maybe you're just tuning in for your favorite creator. I think that is totally fair. One thing I want to remind you is that we're on a tournament server, okay? So because of that, there's some special rules that are built into the system. I think first and foremost, we've been talking about this Mandelbrick system every single time. It is an important one. One of the things to remember is that when you pick up a mana brick, you've only got a certain couple minutes. I think it's 4 minutes or total on your torch. It's called a torch timer. Basically, you have 4 minutes to plant it. Once you get it to a decoding station, that's when it starts a new timer, and that's the timer that you're trying to decode. That can go all the way down to 90 seconds that my friends have been talking about. So it is very stressful. It also pings everybody on the map like normal mana brick that you've got it and they know where you are. Of course, you've got kind of that threat level warning while you're carrying it in case people get close. I think we're going to see some utter chaos on the map, and like the voice said, mana bricks are everything in this format. If you can tie things up with the mana brick, then it comes down to loot value, and with this format, kills will net you so much loot value that running around and just looting the map may not be enough. At least maybe not on space, or rather on Zero Dam, maybe on Space City if you get really lucky, but you're probably going to want to go for kills, which I think will be very fun to watch. Now, we've got all 6 of our teams working on getting into the lobby, and so I want to turn our attention, while we've got a second, I think we've got an interview coming up a little way down the road. While we're waiting on that, I want to come back to you guys, Vivid and Ben. I want to talk to you about, you're both competitors, or at least competitive minded, analytical minded, if not competitive. Talk to me about your strategy when it comes to operator metas. Like, you can talk about in-game, obviously in normal operations, you both play it quite a bit. But in a competition like this, where you can only use each operator twice total as a team in 4 games, what are some of the main comps that you'd be like, hey, I got to make sure that we're saving Luna for this comp, or we're saving Luna for this map maybe as well, because we do know the map rotation, which is going to be Zero Dam, then Brackish, and then Space City back to back to wrap things. So I want to get your thoughts and your analytical minds going. Let's first, Vivid, anything in particular around operators and maps, or operators and comps?
I think one of the probably the most important things is going to be making sure that you have a smoke available in each one of the 4 games, right? Like maybe some of the games you can go ahead and double up on some of the smoke characters, because there are a plethora of smoke characters, right? I personally would, again, you're making sure that you have a smoke in each and every single one of these games, because a lot of times in Delta Force, you do have to cross some open areas on the map, and then also when you actually go ahead to steal the mana brick and go ahead and decode it, you're going to want a smoke on that. Else, somebody's going to be on a vantage point, able to go ahead and shoot you very, very easily. So smokes are going to be very, very important. I personally would go ahead and make sure that I have a Luna, or just one Luna in 2 separate games. I think Luna, for me personally, is probably going to be my strongest operator, so I want to make sure that that is being able to spread out across some of the games. Map wise, maybe saving Luna for those Space City games at the end, because darts are super important, especially when it comes down to the utility and a lot of the corridors there. And then when you go outside, darts are just super impactful there as well. I think Toxic is probably going to be pretty strong. We've seen Seneva find insane value in these mana brick formats before, when they actually go ahead and steal the decode, right? That shield playing a big factor in actually making that a possibility. So a lot of options for some of our competitors today. I would say though, for most people, just being comfortable on their operators is going to be the most important thing for sure.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we've got some people from all over the place too. Some folks that have played thousands and thousands of hours into this game, and others that maybe haven't. So I agree, comfortability important. Dude, Seneva operator can actually be insane just for even peeking corners and not risking your head getting obliterated. So Ben, what do you think? Any extra insight from your side? Maybe what would you do with some of these limitations?
Well, I wanted to expand on, not just what operators are you going to use because they're useful, but like we was just saying, what operators are you experienced with? Like, lots of these players got thousands of hours in the game, they know it inside out, but a lot of people play the same operator, or maybe 1 or 2 operators all the time. You've got muscle memory for, you press this button, you throw a smoke, you press this button and this happens. And if suddenly now, today, they're going to have to play through 5, 6 different operators each or whatever, and that's going to be totally alien to some of these players. Even if they're great shooters, even if they got great tactics, suddenly having to roll as these teams, normally they're in their meta teams with Tempests and Lunas and, all that stuff, Toxics, but now they're going to have to mix it up. And I think you might see people struggle a bit. Maybe we'll see some of those teams saving back some of those preferred options for later in the game, later in the tournament, right? Saving them for Game 3, Game 4, when you know who's got the mana bricks so far, you know what you need to bring to the table. Make sure you saved one of your aces for that final stage so you can bring it out. First game, maybe just getting the lay of the land, getting a feel for it, seeing how all the other teams are going to approach it, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really good breakdown. And as per the usual, this is why we bring you on, folks. You guys got big brains, and I love that for both of you. So we're talking operators. Let's talk a little bit about the maps briefly. I think we've got an interview almost ready, and then our games will be shortly after that. So thanks for staying patient, folks at home. Let's talk a little bit about the maps in particular. I want to hear from both of you guys. Your favorite map, maybe your favorite map in this style of competition, because it is quite different than normal operations. Obviously going Zero Dam, then Brackish, then Space City twice in a row to wrap things up. Vivid, going to you first. What do you think about the maps? Any favorites maybe in a Mandelbrick format?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just, again, personally, very, very opinionated here. It's just going to be, I'm going to favor Zero Dam and Brackish a little bit more than I do Space City. And that's just strictly based on the fact that I have more games played on Zero Dam and Brackish, right? So I'm just a little bit more familiar with those maps than I am on Space City. I feel like format-wise, though, and watching as like a spectator, though, I really like the way Brackish kind of plays out, right? Because it's kind of like this thing where we have seen people before, even when there is a Mandelbrick in the lobby, kind of sacrifice position towards the Mandelbrick to go ahead and you know, go towards like the tower, right? And go ahead and decide to loot up the entirety of tower and try to actually build up their stash. So I feel like Brackish kind of separates things enough to where, you know, sometimes we can see different strategies that are actually kind of employed on a map like that. So it'll be very, very interesting to see if anybody actually goes for a different strat than just going ahead and trying to capture a Mandelbrick. Because if you can go into one of these games just fully stacked up with all gold armor and, you know, a very well built out weapon, then, you know, technically you are going to be a favorite in that. So maybe sacrificing a game in that regard could be something that we need to look out for today as well.
I like that a lot. Ben, what about you in terms of maps? Anything, at least maybe your favorite for a format like this?
Well, personally, I like Space City the most out of those maps, but it's going to be interesting to see how it balances. A lot of it depends on where the Mandelbrick decoders are, right? Because they can be slightly different to maybe what players might be used to seeing in their normal games. And I certainly remember some of the Space City decodes being absolutely crazy in tournaments we've seen before. It's just a map I really love. I've played the most on it, even solo and run around loot running and stuff. Obviously, that's a million miles away from what our teams will be doing today. But I think it's been very interesting for everyone watching the tournament to see how they're going to approach that on Space. And also, like Vivid was saying on Brackish, I think that's maybe the map that offers the most strategical kind of options in terms of movement. Like there's a lot more routes you can kind of take to reposition, get different angles, maybe avoid fights when you avoid them, third party when you want a third party, and the other maps kind of push you into hotspots a little bit more than that. So I think that's going to be quite an interesting dynamic to see how they approach that Brackish gameplay as well. And Zero Dam, you know, we all know Zero Dam inside out, and it's a classic we all love.
Yeah, it's gonna be fast. It's gonna be fast paced, and obviously Zero Dam a bit smaller. Did you guys see in the dev last year they talked about the Space City map expansions? You can now swim. Is that not insane, Vivid? It's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm gonna look at Space City after the new season drops and be like, where the heck am I going? Where am I at? Right? There's just so much more areas, so many little, you know, nuanced things that you can do around that map here. And then, yeah, of course, the swimming being a big part of that as well. Man, me, you know, being an aggressive player myself, looking for PvP, gonna be a little annoyed having to jump in the water and chase down some of those other players that are trying to get away, right? The swimming mechanic is so good at getting away, but just, you know, adding some extra little loot routes around the map for Space City is just so big. Looking forward to those changes for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm pumped to honestly take a look at some of the spawns today too. I think that will dictate a lot of our fights early, like you said, Ben, with the Mandelbrick spawns as well, and those spawn points, where the decoding stations are, which decoding station you go for. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, folks, we're still getting our players ready to go. You know how it is. The creators are getting ready, and they're trying to get in as fast as humanly possible, so we will give them a little bit more time. I know we've got an interview. From what I'm hearing, it is not too far away, so we're going to take a very short break here in the booth, take a look at some of the content that has been rolling out on the YouTubes over here with Delta Force. Let's take a look at some of that, and then we'll be right back here in just a moment.
Should we really be sending her to the front lines in her current state?
You ought to know her better.
Stop!
Lena Vandermeer, codenamed Vlinder. Role, support. Vlinder is a medical specialist from GTI Europe, specializing in pharmaceutical research, possessing outstanding medical expertise, and a strong sense of responsibility. Vlinder's med drones can be deployed to a targeted area, dispersing med-infused nanobots that restore teammates' health, providing them with an adrenaline boost. They may also be deployed on herself, following and continuously restoring her own health for a limited time. Her windmill smoke grenades are guided by gesture sensoring tech. Upon impact with a service, grenades create a cloud of smoke, creating cover for teammates.
Smoke grenade out.
Vlinder's Flutter Rescue UAVs will automatically target downed teammates, administer medical injections when deployed. Once the injection is administered, Vlinder may approach the downed teammate and manually revive them. During deployment, the UAVs may also utilize their active defense system, automatically absorbing 1 instance of explosive damage per deployment, and applying a buff effect to Vlinder.
Counting on you guys. Vital signs stable. Prepare for rescue. I've got you. It's taking effect. I'm here. Feeling better.
Shoot, Vlinder is looking sick, but we got a man in the house we gotta talk to. Hutch, my goat, dude. It's good to have you in the booth. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. Any opportunity I can watch Summit get the snot beat out of him, I mean, I'm gonna take that opportunity every day of the week. I am excited to watch these Delta Force players beat him, and I am pumped about it.
Dude, I love that. Now, okay, you got to explain what's been going on, because you guys have had like a week-long competition or something. I've been seeing all the stuff on the timeline. I've been seeing the streams. Explain kind of what's been going on for the last week.
Well, we have been getting an introduction to Delta Force, the side of Delta Force, the sweaty side, the one where the players are actually really, really good. And I can tell you, it's been rough. It's been rough. I've ran into Summit a couple occasions as well. I've lost every single battle, every single bout. But now I get to watch him get his butt kicked. So I'm pumped. I mean, this is a great day. The week has been really fun as well. I had no idea. I played Delta Force back whenever it first came out, when it was just like a Battlefield-ish game before this mode was even introduced. And the game has just changed completely. It is really, really cool. It's a lot of fun. The gameplay feels amazing, but man, these guys are ridiculously good.
Yeah, awesome stuff there. Obviously, you know, a big part of this competition is the fact that, you know, our competitors can only use an operator so many times. So that kind of got me thinking, what has Hutch kind of found out this week during his playtime, right? Like, what's your favorite operator to kind of play as or have on your team? And who's your least favorite to go up against?
If you're playing that girl who throws the shock darts, I hope you stub your toe every single day you wake up in the morning. I hate you. I don't ever want to talk to you, and I hate you twice. I mean, it's, you know, I have on multiple occasions died before I even got to see a person, because the utility is when it's used well, is so brutal. But it's you know, I talked a lot with Mendo, and he explained it in a way of, you know, trying to get the opposing team to use their abilities before you use yours, and it's a battle of attrition and meds, and the complexity in the gunfights is insane. But definitely the one that throws the smokes and the ones that throw the little the insects that swarm you. Oh my God, I hate you as well if you play that character. God.
So we've been following you doing your bingo cards this week, right? You and Sam have been trying to tick off, get your lines, one up each other all week on those. I wanted to ask, is there anything on those bingo cards that's been an absolute nightmare this week? What's really, really been tough for you to tick off there?
I have never gotten shot more times in the face trying to knife an individual in my entire life. I mean, on multiple occasions, we would flash them, smoke them. I'd go in there and it would just, the hand of Lord would just grace upon my cheek. And I mean, every time, I think we flashed a guy who might have been his second time ever playing the game 34 times. And I was able to knife him in his jugular, which felt great.
Hey, I'm glad you finally got that. That's, you know, that's persistent. I like that a lot. Okay, you've been talking a lot about Summit losing today. I want to talk about who you think's going to win. I've got a list of competitors. I'm going to throw production on the spot here. Can we throw the competitors up on screen? Is that a possibility? We can throw the teams up on screen while we're in this interview. I want to see if Hutch, I need you to give us a prediction, because the Hutch prediction might go crazy right now. Of all these teams, of the people that you do know or don't know, you think Summit is losing? Great. Who do you think's going to win, or maybe one or two teams you think could win this?
So, although Summit is definitely the anchor of the team on the bottom of the ocean, I mean, heavier than me dead asleep in my bed, Mendo is absolutely disgusting. So, there is a chance that Mendo is able to pick that small little Frodo-built man on his shoulders and carry him to victory. But if the weight is too much for even him, give me Gorilla, Caffrey, and it's nowhere. Gorilla, I got to play with him. He's disgusting. I know why he's called Gorilla, because he apes everyone in game and is absolutely nasty at the game. Give me Gorilla 100%.
Okay. I like that call a lot. I think it's a really good team. It's actually one of my top teams as well. Hutch, dude, what a pleasure to have you here in the booth with us, man. Any final words for the broadcast before we send you on your way to watch the competition?
I apologize for what everyone's going to see on the 1G side, but I'm looking forward to seeing all the competitors. And believe me, if you watch this and think, man, I'm going to be that good, now, you put 1,000 hours in, then maybe you'll be as good as these guys. But the game's great. You're going to have a ton of fun if you try out Delta Force. And I'm looking forward to the update. A lot of really, really cool stuff. And the skins are sick.
Yeah, super, super cool, man. Thanks so much for joining us. You can head back to your watch party, your stream, say hello for us. But one quick time, just in case there's some new Delta Force stands out here that maybe don't know you, shout yourself out. Where can people find you? You stream all the time.
Yep, Hutch everywhere. Just Hutch, you'll find me.
Heck yeah, Hutch. Thanks so much, dude.
Thank you, man. Later.
Yep, see ya. All right, that was Hutch MF. Dude has been balling on Delta Force. Ben, what do we think about that interview? That was classy. I like that.
Yeah, I love the Summit Smack Talk is great. I've been following these guys all week, watching both their streams a little bit, and it's just been a great dynamic between them. But also seeing them learning so much has been really cool. Like some of the different players they're talking about, like Mendo and stuff that they've played with this week, and Sammy and Poach, like real players who've spent a lot of time playing Delta and able to give them some great guidance, help them learn the ropes a little bit, help Summit know what a Half Africa is when he picks one up. You know, if you haven't seen that clip, you need to go check out on the official Delta Force Twitter. That was wild seeing that.
Yeah, I totally agree. They've been putting out some great content. Favorite, what do you think about the Hutch interview?
Dude, I'm not kidding, my cheeks hurt from just smiling and laughing so much. That was like top tier interview right there, right? And it was also like, he's like, oh man, I absolutely hate Luna players, those shock or those grenades coming in. I'm just like sitting here like hiding, like, hey, I play Luna all the time. But no, absolutely incredible interview. It sounds like, you know, Hutch has been having a lot of fun with the game, so that's happy to see, right? Kind of a week on it, being introduced to it. Instantly talks about how sweaty it can kind of get, right? Especially when he's, you know, kind of teamed up with some of the players like Mendo and Gorilla, kind of instantly being introduced to some of the strategies that they've been employing for, you know, the year plus that they have been playing the game, and, you know, just having fun, you know, running the Summit, a couple of raids too. You mentioned that he lost every single time, but still awesome interactions there.
Crazy stuff. Well, that was Hutch Interview. Like we said, definitely check him out. He and Summit have been grinding the game this past week in a fun bingo competition, and it's great to have them here and kind of in the culmination of that, frankly. Hutch watching, of course, Summit competing with Mindo. Great competitors. However, they are a little slow, so we're not quite ready for the game, but we are very close. So we're going to take a very quick break again. We just saw some new content. This has all just been revealed, by the way, in the dev stream. So we got a little bit more that we want to show you, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Alonzo, hand it over to the Academy and claim sole credit for the Dark Matter project. It seems the Academy never taught you that efficiency boils down to cost calculation, and emotion is the greatest premium. The choice is yours.
Director, the board is ready.
The acquisition plan is a notice, not a proposal. Sign it.
So arrogant! The chairman will not approve this!
My father has grown old, and you are what remains of a bygone era.
What gives you the right to issue us orders? You won't get away with it.
The first lesson my father taught me was to make sure everyone sees eye to eye. Now, do we have an understanding? Do not resist. I have already allied with Havoc. Dark matter is the future. Take them away.
Cut the nonsense, Alonzo. You overstepped.
Overstepped. I'm walking the path you laid out for me. Only now, I'm in charge. You're next, De Luna.
Dark Star destined for oblivion. Good grief. Hutch said it. They got some great skins out there, okay? There's some really cool stuff. That's the new melee skin, new melee knife, rather, that's coming to Delta Force here with the new patch just revealed on the developer live stream a moment ago. I think we gave away like 20 of them, too, on those dev live streams, so make sure you're tapped into all things Delta Force. And I got to remind you to do just that, because there's so much coming with this brand new season. I've been talking to all the creators, been talking to even Summit, who is hype about Delta Force right now. It is locked in, has been putting in crazy hours, and so make sure you go download Delta Force now. If you haven't checked it out in a while, or maybe ever, go download for free on basically every place you could ever get a game. You can see them all down below. Even on mobile, they've got a bunch of new QOL updates coming to mobile that was just revealed in the dev live stream as well, and on console and on PC, Epic Game Store, everywhere you want to get the game you can. So really excited about that. So go jump into the game right now. It's a great time to do so. Cheaters at an all-time low. It's just fantastic stuff right now. The devs gave a great update just a moment ago, about 30 minutes ago, actually, or maybe about an hour. But either way you look at it, here's the other thing, okay? A lot of the competitions we do have some amazing content creators like today. However, some of the competitions we do, you can participate in as well. To do that, though, you got to be following Delta Force on all major socials, okay? We got all the socials you could possibly think of as well, even Reddit pages, fandoms, and everything you need to know about the game and learn about the game. You can do it there, but you can also get involved with the community. There's some really cool stuff happening in the community. A lot of Q&As happening with devs in the Discord. Make sure you join that Discord. But if you tap into the socials, you'll make sure you're following for all of these amazing events where either you can get involved or you can watch some really cool content creators ball out in this fun new hybrid mantle brick crazy format that we're about to get into. So thanks for tuning in for today, but hopefully you'll be able to tune in for future competitions down the road, because we do have some esports competitions happening next week with the Delta Force Global League Season 4. It's all operations this season, and we've got so many teams in the open quals right now battling their way to broadcast next weekend for the semifinals and finals. Now, I am getting word that all of our players are finally in the lobby and they're about to ready up with their loadouts. So I bring back in my fellow analysts and my casters, and Ben, I go to you because we're about to bid you farewell. We are going into the first game. It is Zero Dan. You got a million Technic Alloy. I'm putting you on the spot. What weapon is Ben running if he's in this competition?
Oh, wow. What am I running? I mean, M7, you see M7 so popular with players these days. I feel a lot of people are going to be seeing that. Let's call it there. I'll take my million. We'll go for that.
I like it. Some of these weapons are expensive, by the way, and especially when you start decking about with attachments. Vivid, what about you? Is there a weapon of your choice that you'd be taking into Zero Dam?
You see, that's the hard thing, right? You only have $1 million. You got to buy ammo, you got to buy armor, then you got to buy the gun, then you got to buy the attachments. I think what we have seen early on in these competitions be used before, and I'm just going to go ahead and follow suit with the guys that know best, the guys that are always kind of playing in these competitions. I think the AUG is actually usually a pretty popular one because you can kind of deck it out for quite cheap. So I would probably go ahead and just take the sweaty route right there, right? Go ahead and try to make use of the AUG because I feel like, you know, you can kind of deck that thing out. And it's a beam at distance if you can set it up correctly. So I think the AUG is probably going to be pretty popular, and I think that's what I would go with.
Okay, we got AUG, we got M7. I'm liking it thus far. In terms of operators, I like to start out with a Luna. I like to start out with a Stinger. This is what I'm calling the broke round, okay? $1 million is a lot of technicality, but not when you're decking out your gear like this. I am expecting to see a decent amount of support operators. Stinger in particular could save you a bit on some of the meds you need to bring in because you are a little bit broke. Every round going forward, folks, I want to remind you, you got $1 million Technic Alloy auto given to you to compensate losses, and it's $1 million Technic Alloy for every single kill. You're playing for Mantle Bricks, but if you get a kill, you're going to get some extra funds auto added to your account, which will help you buy better gear as we go into the further rounds. Now, if you can stay alive and extract, then you get to save all the money of all the gear you had before, and now you're doing amazing, and you're probably going to have an advantage over your opponent. So there is some high risk, high reward situations happening. Got to play for bricks, but if you can extract, that is a huge cherry on top. And as we're about to jump into the game, Ben, I want to go back to you. Any final words? We've been yapping a lot, but any final words of wisdom for maybe some of our creators that are about to compete right now? Anything that you're going to be keeping your eye on maybe as we jump into our very first game?
I'm interested to see maybe if some of our teams decide to think about round one as not so much a get the Mantle Brick, get in the lead round, but let's make some money round. Like you said, you don't start with a lot. So maybe if they want to go out and go, you know what, let's bring some curveball operators that maybe aren't the meta, and we're just going to try and play for kills. Get those kills. Each kill gets you $1 million alloy you can use for the next game. So that'd be really interesting. See if we get a team that just goes out fragging, plays for kills, build up the bank balance, and then for game 2 and 3, they got loads more alloy, and they can come in really geared up for that.
I like where your head's at, man. I don't know if the creators are that smart. I'm going to be honest. I think you are. I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I actually think that's a great strategy. There's only 4 rounds, and every round has a Mantle Brick. So yes, you need to play for bricks, but if you play for the brick in the first one, you lose everything, and you're just behind going forward. There's some nice value to kind of stockpiling up for a bit and having some advantages. Now, I do want to remind some people of some other small little minor rules, just if you have questions. You're not going to see an AWM. You're not going to see tier 6 anything red in terms of armor or in terms of like weapons. You can't buy any Lapua ammo anyways. So you're not going to see any of that. It's going to be max tier 5. Anything gold is good to go. That will probably be what everybody's kitted out in. Maybe this first round, you'll see some tier 4, some purple, just because people are a little bit broke to start things off. But other than that, it should be all good and dandy, and everybody can use whatever they want. So maybe some meta stuff, maybe some off meta stuff. Vivid, I'll ask you the same question. Any other words of wisdom or any final thoughts here as we're about to jump into the game for our creators?
Yeah, Ben went ahead and mentioned it earlier, but I really do hope that all of our players were paying attention when, you know, they were talking about the key cards and the fact that they are all, you know, free. And you do have a 12 card slot available for free as well. So you can literally stockpile up all of the key cards for every single one of our maps, right? So a little bit of homework to do there for everybody that is going to be playing. We all know how valuable, you know, cards can be in terms of getting loot, which of course is valuable in this competition because your stash value does matter in terms of being able to load yourself up in gear for each one of these games. And of course, stash value also being kind of like that tiebreaker or second win condition. But also there are some, you know, PvP oriented key cards in the game that give you access to some areas of the map that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, that, you know, are useful in terms of, you know, being like shortcuts into certain areas and other things like that. So it is pretty important to make sure that you do go ahead and manage to pick up every single one of the key cards, in my opinion, for every single one of the maps. We're going to be playing 3 of them separately. So make sure if you are, you know, listening to this live stream or watching this one, go ahead and tell your favorite creators, hey, you know, make sure you got all your key cards.
That is a great shout. Yeah. Okay. there's like 3 creators that haven't readied up yet, so I'm gonna open the Pandora's box here. Favorite shortcuts. I mean, I feel like keycards are necessary for Space City, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, Ben, what do you think about the keycard question?
Yeah, it's a great shout. You got to make sure you have those. On some of the maps, it's maybe a bit limited, like the big key cards that are available. Obviously, you know, Zero Dam, you've got East Wing managers in the middle. It's a hot spot anyway in that area, and trying to get that room as well. And it's also a horrible dead end. So that could be brutal. But then, you know, if teams are a bit distracted in that game 1 by Mandel bricks, or maybe just being a bit cautious and building up to it, you might be able to sneak in there and get it done. Maybe they might find that some of the other smaller key cards on the outskirts might give them a bit more value with a little bit less risk. But as you say, Space City, if they don't have those passageway key cards, those access key cards like the bridge and the other routes through, then that's going to be a real hindrance to those teams. So that's when the experience of these players is going to come in. You know, the ones who played it a ton, they know that they need those key cards on the team.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a really good shout. Vivid, any other big hits on the keycards? I will remind people too, by the way, for the tournament server, you can get all the keycards. You can fill out your keycard holder basically for free. It's like 1 technical alloy per keycard. You can still find a keycard on the map worth 2 mil or whatever they are, and use that towards your stash value. So something just to keep in mind for everybody at home if we do see anybody going for loot early. But Vivid, any other shouts on keycards or any other secret tips that we need to know before we jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have the Brackish power employee, whatever card that it's called, that gives you access, that you can go ahead and swipe into the Brackish tower, right? Because, you know, the one way in, you go ahead and pull the switch. You got to wait like a minute and 30 seconds. Or if you just swipe the key card, you instantly gain access to the Brackish tower. So that's going to be probably one of the most beneficial key cards in the game outside of, you know, loot directly. It's just so good to go ahead and have, right? It allows you to just, you know, get into the tower instantly, catch people by surprise if they're not paying attention to the map. And then, you know, some other times, you know, hey, listen, you can kind of rotate around, maybe sneak in through middle as well, because that one's not necessarily always open. Just opens up so many possibilities around the tower. Got to be one you have.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Well, folks, we've been yapping here in the booth for a long time, and I thank you both for joining our Delta Force podcast that we've created. However, I am getting word the creators have readied up. They got their loadouts ready. They got their settings ready. We're in the tourney server, and we are starting in Zero Dam. Let's see who gets those admin spawns. Ben, we will check in with you here in just a moment. I think this game's going to go very quick because it is Zero Dam after all. I think it's like 16 minutes on the clock, so we'll see you in just a second. Thanks for dropping in with us. We'll be checking back in with Ben here after this first game. Vivid, it's time. All right, the game is getting started. It is time for some Zero Dam, the tried and true, the classic, the OG. Let's jump into it, my friend, and see where these spawns are at. Vivid, I think as we start things off, obviously in general, when we play this map, we love those T1 spawns, which are going to be around the admin side. I think the big question mark, because this Zero Dam map isn't necessarily in esports played as a Mandelbrick map, or at least it hasn't in a very long time. I'll be very curious to see what the spawns look like here for the Mandelbrick on Zero Dam in this type of a format.
Yeah, absolutely. The spawns are going to be playing a big factor, you know, a part of this map for sure. Another thing that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on as we jump into this one goes immediately off the rip. I am going to be looking at the operators that some of our teams have opted to go ahead and choose, right? Because it's kind of like an economy of its own. You can only use each operator 2 times. That's kind of like an investment into a map like Zero Dam is, of course, going to be very, very important. But I would argue that, you know, Brackish and Space City later on in this competition, they require some specific operators in that regard as well. So Zero Dam kind of like this flex map, but here we go, Goj. We talked about it a little bit earlier on. We're going to be jumping right into it and taking a look at the spawns. You were talking about the admin spawns. Looks like 2 teams dashing towards admin, which is also where the Mandelbrick happens to have been spawned. Gorilla's team looks like they are in prime position to go ahead and not only loot up all of admin, get all of that position, but also get the early Mandelbrick possession.
Yeah, I love talking about this. In the esports side of things, we talk about like T1, T2, T3 spawns, and those will rotate. We don't have to get into the nitty gritty, but obviously this is the best spawn. When you pull it in the first map, you got to take advantage of it. Gonna take a power position here and be first to the brick. It doesn't mean that they necessarily will get the brick though. So we'll keep our eyes on that map. We'll see where everybody's at. You see Jade of Eyes, equal place. Chap not too far away over there in barracks. But a couple folks off the map. It looks like the French Mafia under a Zapbox leadership are way down in Visitor Center. So they're going to be hanging out for a while and probably trying to play, not even second fiddle, probably third or fourth fiddle to the fight around the brick.
Yeah, if you take a look at the Guerrilla comp here, right, they all have actually managed to go ahead and pick a smoke character, so kind of prioritize these smokes, but that leaves them with no information gathering. But the fact that they went ahead and spawned on this mana break means that if they go ahead and pick up the mana break, they of course are going to know if there are any players that are early or, you know, in their vicinity, right? So that's kind of worked out in their advantage here. They're going to get a little bit of information if they do decide to pick up the mana break. Right now, it looks like they have not picked it up. So maybe they're trying to, you know, kind of play the long game and try to play a little bit ratty. But as you can see here, look, the Reds, they're starting to play a factor here. Goes nowhere, finding a smooth bore.
Yeah, hey, this is why you need to get your key cards, right? I mean, even just, you know, what I would call maybe one of the more minor key cards comparatively to some of the other maps. A great start here for Nowhere. And look, this guy is well acquainted with operations. Have seen him compete in so many operations tournaments, as well as just playing all the time. So makes sense. He's getting lucky early.
And listen, you mentioned earlier, so I actually completely thought about it going into this competition. When we do play on these servers, the maps, the timers, how long you're actually in the map, it's way shorter, right? So look at this, we already have 15 minutes left. It goes by. If you blink, you'll miss it. So it kind of speeds everything up, right? The fact that we're kind of getting stalled out right now could, you know, play a big factor in how this one actually plays out. Of course, we do see that, you know, Velvet, Precision, and Breadman, they're going to be on the other side of Admin, opposing Guerrilla. It looks like they are aware of their position over there, kind of trying to rat about it because they are going ahead and expending some of their utility towards them. I did see as well, right? We know that, you know, some teams are going to be coming in from the doors of Admin, right? They're going to be kind of flooding in, but I did see that Sammy's team, I think they were underground, right? So they're going to be working towards that underground area, going all the way through the center of the map and sneaking into the basement of Admin. So there's so many ways into Admin, and every single one is going to be exploited. And the fact that these two teams are kind of sitting here right now, they're going to get pinched so hard and so fast because there's only 14 minutes left.
Yeah, very quick rounds. Breadman on your screen plays a modicum of different games, but actually has a crazy amount of hours in Delta Force, running the SV and the AS Val, I believe, as his two weapons.
He's a D-Wolf. He has a bad helmet on.
Sniper's interesting because, you know, we know that they only have so much,
That's like one lap.
you know, alloy to go ahead and expend. As he flashes inventory right there, I think Breadman actually has on blue armor. So basically kind of investing into the sniper rather than more expensive armor. I do believe that was blue armor that I saw, right? I was kind of questioning how the heck is he able to afford all of this stuff. So hopefully he's able to find value with the sniper, or else it's kind of like an investment that is not going to work out.
So this is kind of Breadman's MO. I've probably casted over Breadman, I don't know, 600 events. I don't know how many it is, maybe not that many, but close to it. This is what he does. He is a sniper aficionado in every title that he plays, and especially in Delta Force. We'll see if he can get some value from it.
Get ready to push.
And instantly, they're going to be jumping through right there. A little shot came out that I do believe missed, but for some reason, that gave them the info that they needed to go ahead and dive in here. The Toxic Ult is going to be coming out from the other side of things, so he's going to be very low HP the longer this one sits. As you can see, already down to 25 HP. Going to be trying to run out of this room and remove the drones. Very, very important for him to do because it just caps his total HP very, very low. As you can see here, Guerrilla on the opposing side of this, still just a straight up 3v3. We have not seen an outside POV, but we know they are lurking in the shadows. We know they're going to join the fight eventually. This one is going to be a war of attrition. The straight up 3v3 is probably going to end with one, if not both of these teams going down. As you can see, Caffrey's actually going to be able to find up the opening pick right there, and Nowhere secures it. So now they're going to be in a 3v2 situation. And as I say that, Velvet finds a return kill. Guerrilla finds a return kill onto Velvet. So now we have one knock on each side of things. That's actually going to be the knock that we just saw right there as well. So kind of going back in time, as Breadman is going to try to force the play here. He knows that the knock is in. The door strat, though, goes so good.
Very clean. Should be able to get this pickup, I think. Maybe hear some footsteps, and it's a bit scared of it. Here we go. Here's a look on the other side. Here's Sammy's team getting into the mix. As expected, came from the underground and says, let's just play third party and clean things up in here. So many people in admin. It's stacked to the brim. And we're getting jump scared as well because We're on streamer POV, so we don't have the X-ray. It's just what we can see from these player POVs. Talk about a POV. Down goes Gorilla. Holy.
Like, really gonna be down now. Now Nowhere is the only one left alive, and as I say that, a little bit of a jinx. Sammy stuck go in and pick that one up. Now the aggression has to come in, right? Are they aware of the other team that has not? They are aware, because look, they see the body on the ground. It's not a box, so they know that somebody is not so aware, and taking full advantage of the information and the aim there is gonna be Muyo. Muyo picks up basically 2 full team kills, only gets a couple of the kills on each side of things, right? But effectively wipes out 2 teams. They do have to kind of reset right now, because what just happened, what they just did, is completely possible to happen to them, right? We know there has to be teams lurking outside of admin looking to try to get involved in this right now. Only question is, when are they going to push their advantage? There's 10 minutes left, Goj, and right now, as it currently stands, Sammy and Co are in a giant advantageous position.
Let's try to stop them from planning here, and we just gotta watch our back.
Yeah.
Where's that break?
And it does look like Jade Advise, like he was saying there, is gonna go get involved. Look, that's exactly what you want to do in competitions like this. Nobody calls it a second party when a second team shows up. It's only a party if the third team shows up. It was perfect timing for Sammy's team to come in, clean things up, have a party, and pick up the brick in theory. So I like being a little bit slow to the party as well here if you're Jade Advise's squad. You see Abralelli there with Mindo and Summit kind of playing the off angle as well. And then Zapok on the far right-hand side. Here's a look at our map feed. This will show us where everybody's at. Patience of virtue in competitions like this, but 2 teams fully wiped. They're going to be licking their wounds. Back in the lobby. Re-gearing back up here shortly. Won't be totally broke, though.
A little bit of a different thing to think about, too, when we are playing these tournaments. You know, usually when you play a normal match of operations and there is a mana brick in it and you pick it up, there's only 2 stations available. As you can see on the map right now, though, there are way more than 2 available, right? 4 total on the map right now. I'm not sure if they kind of expand out in some of the other locations as well, but at least 4 are going to be available. But if you take a look at every single one of the exits to admin right now, completely covered. Right, you got Zapok and Co up there, up top of the mountain. They're kind of probably playing some long angles, should be sitting up there, see if they leave. We have Summit's team actually entering from the basement as well, and then Chap's team is going to be off by construction, kind of guarding that exit. So Sammy's team is completely trapped in admin right now.
Alright, I think some of you come in this room.
One's on my stairs in front of me.
And you ult upstairs and fight.
That's a flame
Probably
thrower.
behind this box.
I'm going to try to listen into some of their comms as we can. It sounds like they've got a
Flamethrower just gave us
pretty good idea of where some people are at. We take a quick look at some of the loot folks are bringing in. Does make some sense that we're prioring the highest value ammo that we can.
Heading to this place. Molly down smoked.
And Tempest has kind of been that comfort pick, right? Where Summit has kind of found his most value since starting to play Delta Force, right? Because they're going to be able to play it in half of the maps. So it'll be interesting to see how he kind of switches things up. But these Tempest ults, right? They can hear, they know where they're coming from. The Yuto kind of comes out and completely just shuts down the ult effectively. So now the pushing power of this team is going to be shut down immediately. As you can see right now, Sammy Sucks and Co. The strategy is going to be coming out right now. They are abandoning admin building completely. They're going to be trying to go towards either this parking lot decode or the one that's all the way at the substation. We do know, though, Zapok's team is going to be up on the mountain, right? All the way up top of the zips. So they're going to have to, you know, keep that in mind, or at least
they started it.
Find out some information. But there it is. You mentioned it, goes the decode coming in.
Yeah, and this is also the first time we've seen a competition with Raptor involved. And so because of that, Sammy's going to try to get a bunch of intel in the skies. Obviously a great operator for a competition like this, where you got to figure out where everybody's at while you're holding down a very specific position. So what do you think about this position? I mean, obviously we got people close. This one is pretty wide out in the open. I think this might be a tough one to hold.
Yeah, I was really worried because I thought Zapok's team was still up on top of the zip, but they actually came down, and Lasik had no idea they were over there until they just Luna arrowed over the top of everything. So now they are fully aware of the situation. They kind of are going to effectively have a 3v3 onto Zapok's team, because the team that's going to be coming from admin is going to get flanked by Chap's team that was over there in construction eventually. This is going to get crazy. The decode has 3 minutes left. There's 7 minutes left in the match. There's like a 1 minute window here of where like one more possible decode can actually come in right now. So this may end with nobody decoding at all.
Yeah, we'll try to keep an eye on that timer the best we can. We've got it on our map feed, so I'll keep you updated if we don't show it from these streamer POVs, but obviously if they have possession, you'll see it. There was a timer before the decoding started, and that was the timer to plant the brick into the decoding station. Just remember that there is a torch timer to get to a decoding station, or the metal brick will go back. But since it's there, every steal will decrease the timer by 30 seconds. There is some kind of rate limiting that's done with along the map but we can easily run out of time on this map. I think we're beginning to see that very unlikely some of these players will extract. Right now, it's all about getting that brick. And you got to have at least one player alive now. Got to have at least one player alive to get the brick into your possession. If you're decoding it and it goes to 0, but you have nobody alive, the timer will actually pause now with the new format.
As you can see here, they are trying to be aggressive now, right? Only 2 minutes left on that mana brick. Zycop actually goes ahead and picks up one of the kills there. That's going to be onto Muyo Muyo. So that was going to be the team that was initially decoding the brick. They are still decoding it. Their team has not gone down. There's 1 minute and 40 seconds left on that. So the timer is surely running out right now. The scan comes in. Lasik somehow wins that on the Rockstar right there. Huge play from him to go ahead and win that when he seemed to be at a huge disadvantage with that scan coming in.
And there's the knock. Here's the offset. It does look Triple Blaster actually got the cleanup in the trade. That's a nice one.
That's good. That's good. Let's play it.
Take a look at Sammy's POV, though. Now with one down, what are they going to do? They're playing the interior. Here's the Raptor utility coming out. Trying to get some intel. Finds one hiding. I found you.
Substation side. There's two in garage.
Trying to play full defensive here, right? They have a great comp for this. They have Raptor, and then the Toxic Smokes are also going to play a big part. They're actually trying to threaten the res. So that's going to force Zapok's team to go ahead and try to make an aggressive play right there. A great shot is actually returned on to Sammy right there to go ahead and force him off of the position. Somehow Zapok loses that fight. Seemed to be in a big advantage jumping around the corner. And on the other side of things, look at this. Mendo, Summit, they're now in the warehouse. They're getting involved. But Goj, do not forget about the brick. Somebody's got to get on the brick to go ahead and stop this capture from Muyo Muyo's team.
Oh, what a find. We're going to do a listen in here to see what they're talking about. This is a tough fight. Summit is down.
That's a fourth team.
That's a substation team.
Yeah, just play for kills here.
Attention, operator.
There it is.
It's been stolen. Okay, at least we've reset the timer. Now take a look at it. 3.5 minutes with the reset. We've got 4 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock and counting. There's about a minute difference between these two timers, Vivid. We can't really afford another steal. We've got to play Protect.
Yeah, I think that was Chap's team finally kind of showing themselves, jumping in. They're going to be picking up one of the kills and then jumping on the decode right there. So now they're actually going to be the teams that have the big advantage here. 3 minutes for them to go ahead and hold it. You heard Mendo when we were doing that little bit of a listening. He was like, hey, listen, Alp, just play for kills now. Mendo knows that kills are very, very valuable as well because they're worth 1 million Technic Alloy, right? So going into the next game, if you go ahead and pick up a couple of kills right now, it is going to help your economy out. Looking at Muyo Muyo, Sammy Sucks, and Lasik, somehow they're a trio? What? They got reses off?
That's insane. I think they're just playing so interior, and the other teams that are shooting at each other, they're able to get it off. So nice. They don't have possession of the brick right now.
He jumped out, I think.
No, they don't. They finally know about Alb up top. Alb going to kind of ditch out of the window right there. Muyo Muyo going to be showing why he is one of the best aimers in the game. Finds Shade of Eyes, which is going to be a part of the team that is actually controlling the brick right now. Remember, that's going to be Chap's team and equal plays over there. Now Lasik kind of seeing that there's another team behind him right now, so they're in a complete pinch. And yeah, I think it's too late for them to actually go ahead and decode the station now, right? Because there's less than 3 minutes. Oh my god, no, they got it.
They stole it. Yeah, they just stole it just a second ago. Look at the time difference. They have to hold it. They can't let anybody touch it. Even if somebody just goes for it and dies, they can ruin this entire game and nobody get a mana break. The difference in the timers between in-game and the decoding station is 10 seconds. This gets stolen. It's probably nobody's brick. Gotta clean that kill up. Sammy's got an angle on the inside. They gotta play each other's trades correctly.
Nice.
It does look like they're able to do that. Nice pickup on Jade of Eyes. Sammy holding this angle perfectly. I told you, Sammy Sucks is a podium player. Let's see what they're able to do. As it does look like somebody stole.
Wow.
I'm with you. Nice.
Yeah. They did seal it. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to get the mana break this game, right? Picking up a lot of kills for Sammy's team right now, but I think the decoy's going to come in around like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I believe. Let's go ahead and see it. Wait for it to pop up on the screen here.
Nice lobby wipe. Grab dog tags.
The timer. The
Oh my
timer
god!
decreases-
You gotta stop. You gotta go
decreases
here.
by 30 seconds every time they grab.
What am I doing?
We're going to take a look back on that one, and then we'll get a read on the timer. It's so close, obviously. Oh, here's the steal. This is from Equal Plays. The steal here to save the day, and then they get cleaned up. Let's take a look at the timers, comparing them.
Where are we go? Where am I going?
I can't read. It's so close. I think
Oh, no, they got it. No, they got it.
They got it. With the 30-second drop,
Wow.
they had just enough
Look at that.
time. 9 seconds. Holy cow. A 9-second difference. They wiped the whole lobby, and they hold on to the brick. What a start from Sammy's team.
Yeah, I mean, all the kills that they're getting right now, they're going to be having a huge leg up on the leaderboard strictly with this Mano Brick capture, and they might actually be able to run all the way over to the extract that requires you to be less than a certain amount of weight. So if they're able to extract with some of this loot, and that maybe they're not thinking about it. I think they're actually just going to be putting all of their dog tags in their safe box because those are worth 150k each, right? All the kills and everything like that. So, I mean, hey, great game for Sammy's like LASIK here. I mean, incredible.
Dude, crazy. I don't know if I was expecting that. They are going to go ahead and copy this. Now, technically, on paper, it doesn't matter if you copy it. In normal esports, if you're able to copy the brick, then you get some extra rewards. In this, it's all about the kills. And frankly, they got a lot of them. I'll be actually pretty curious to see if we can read how many kills they ended up actually netting themselves. Because they've got a decent bit of loot in their safe box. They're going to get the mana brick. And they got a lot of kills and dog tags. Like, they're feeling good right now.
We failed, team. We must get that brick next time.
Wow.
Look
at that, man. Total assets, it says 20 mil, 18 mil over there. But, I mean, I don't know if they were able to, they're obviously not able to extract with all of that value right there, but we'll have to keep a close eye on how their stash actually looks after game number 1.
Crazy.
Incredible stuff.
Ben, what did you think about game 1, dude? I told you it was going to be fast. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was huge. I mean, it didn't really play like I expected at all. Really interesting to see. You know, Sammy's team played it really well. They went into that underground area early, and looked like they were trying to go across to the east initially to substation, but they ended up kind of camping in the northern tunnel going up towards admin right. And they just held that, looking back to see if anyone else would come out that way. When they heard that fight kicking off properly, they waited a little bit, let it start to develop. But once they knew that it happened, they start to see all those knocks in the feed. They came straight through the bottom of admin, third party that fight early on. And that gave them that huge initial advantage. Even if they hadn't had those plays at the end of the game, they had already got themselves, I think, 3 mil in stuff they could have extracted with at that point. And they also had a bunch of kills from that early fight as well, which is obviously 1 million alloy per kill going into the next game. But then they've carried that on, made a great play into that courtyard area, despite being completely surrounded, and then it was just carnage for the end of the game, right?
Carnage. I don't know how they were able to stay alive and get the revives at the end. I think it was just the utter chaos, like you said, carnage at that final fight. They were just kind of tucked away and were able to pick up the revive. But Ben, talk me through some of the replays. It was a masterful breakdown of what happened. There were obviously some highlights in this one, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might think that you have an advantage having those admin spawns. We had Breadman and Caffrey's teams getting the 2 quick spawns. They rushed admin. We had this big early fight. It was very tense in the build-up, and then it just went straight into it, and it kicks off so quickly in this game. When it kicks off, these players know when they need to push. They know when util has been used, as well as when they see a knock. And so that happened very quickly. And then here we are moving to this courtyard fight. Like you mentioned, those revives that Sammy's team got, they defended it really well here. That kill from Sammy there, let them get the revive on Mio Mio. And then this is, I think, maybe Summit getting taken down around that time. Yeah, that was the rescue on Mio. And then, yeah, well played by Sammy's team. Just getting them back to that 3-man just helps give you such a strong advantage, right, going into that end game. And then they wipe the whole lobby.
Yeah, they wiped the whole lobby. I don't know how many kills they had. Production maybe told me it was 12. We'll double check the leaderboard once it's finalized. Folks, that's 12 million Technic alloy that they have in their base right now. That's the thing about this competition format. This is a momentum-based tournament. If you can get some early cash, you're going to be feeling very strong going to the next round. And obviously, getting kills and the brick. Dude, Sammy's team is set up. This would be a catastrophic throw if they don't podium at least, if not a top 2. So I'm just going to set that out there. Sammy, you don't suck, man. You did fantastic. Vivid, what'd you think about operator choices? We saw kind of a modicum of plenty of them. Sammy going for the newer Raptor.
Yeah, I mean, incredible stuff right there. I honestly wasn't really expecting a Raptor to kind of come out. I myself haven't played much Raptor, but, you know, being that operator that can find so much value in terms of just all of the information that you possibly have, like, it was perfect for them. All he had to simply do was fly his little bird outside of the warehouse, and he pretty much just saw where everybody was at and was able to go ahead and call out all of that stuff. I mean, it was just incredible. I don't know how they pulled it off at all. They were fighting from literally the beginning of the game in admin all the way out to the warehouse, and somehow the reses just kept coming in for the trail right there. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, and Ben, going back to you, any surprises from the weapon or maybe just loadout in general category? Because we saw a pretty wide mix, actually, of what I would call like a more defensive loadout versus something a bit more offensive, like Breadman, for instance, or Summit. You saw even wielding, I don't even know if he had a helmet, picked up a gray helmet off a random guard.
Yeah, like we saw early on, Breadman was in admin. He'd gone for blue armor and then bring, I think it was an AS Val and a sniper as well, right? So having to make those compromises to save yourself some money. You got limited ammunition, or sorry, you got limited funds to buy your loadout. So yeah, good play, good ideas there for game 1. I'm not sure how much money many of those teams are going to have going into game 2, because Sammy's team kind of got all the cash, got all the kills, but if they got 12, I guess there's a few other kills, and you do get $1 million top up for the next rounds. Yeah. But I mean, Sammy's team is going to be so much more geared now than the other teams. They can go in full gold, great guns. The other teams are going to be doing that balancing act still.
Yeah, well, speaking of that balancing act, let's actually take a look at the leaderboard and see where our totals are at right now, because this will dictate a lot. Reminder, if it's $1 million per player, then you can see these totals and see where they're at. Holy cow. Ben, talk me through this. Obviously, Sammy's team at the top by a mile.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we expected to see them up there from what we saw in that game, but the other teams are also far behind. There's not really like a strong second place contender there. They just played that third party play so well. Some of the other guys, I guess when you're an admin, you're kind of forced almost to take that push and just go in there and see how you deal with it. And you just end up in that first fight. Sammy's team got in the perfect position to third party that. And then some of the other guys like J-Device and Zapok's teams, we saw them taking up these kind of positions to the east and the west of admin, sort of setting up more of a defensive position, seeing when the next fight would kick off that they could maybe third party, or waiting for them, Sammy's team, to come out of admin to do the Mandelbrick. But I think once they all started to condense down together, even though Sammy's team was surrounded, all the other teams kind of blocked each other off from making the pushes they want to make. And then just that strong defensive play that Sammy's team made from in there with Lessig as well was just enough to just kill everyone and get all those points. And now they're miles ahead, but they just got that Mandelbrick as well, right? We weren't sure if they had the time to get it, but by, I think it was about 9 seconds, right?
It's crazy.
They managed to grab that, and on top of their 15.3 million, that also puts them at the top of the leaderboard, whatever. So the other teams need a Mandelbrick now if they want to get ahead of Sammy's team.
Yeah, and let's take a quick look at the overalls, because it is slightly different, because again, everybody's getting comp 3 mil. So you're still, if you're Breadman's team, you're still walking in with like 4 mil in total. So you're gonna have a hair more than you started with, because you were able to get a little bit into your safe box as you ended up getting eliminated. But a huge advantage here, Vivid. I still think though, Vivid, and when we talk about loadouts briefly, I still think if you're like Team Caffrey, Team J-Device, you still have, I mean, you got like over 2 mil per player. Like you can still kit yourself pretty well.
Oh, I mean, Team Caffrey right there. Remember, that was the team that we saw go down first in the game, right? That was Gorilla's team in admin. So the fact that, you know, they were fighting, they did pick up some of those early kills. They were looting admin, right? We saw them in managers, able to probably put some stuff in their safe box. They're actually the second healthiest team going into, you know, game number 2, even though they were one of the first teams down, right? So kind of showing us, hey, listen, that early aggression, that early kind of willingness to go in and loot and make sure that you kind of are finding some value from each one of these games is going to inevitably put you in a good position for following matches.
Yeah, a good shout. Now, Ben, I want you to give some analytical brain to this. We're going to take a look at our operator choices. If you see 2 green dots, that means they have both of those still left. And if you see a grayed out dot or a non-green dot, that means they used that in the first round. So as you quick glance through this graphic, obviously still a plenty of options. But taking a look at our operator selections, do see about half of our teams running Stinger. Anything else kind of stand out? It looks like about half of our teams running D-Wolf in that first round as well.
Yeah, Stinger seemed very popular in that one. Toxic we saw a lot of as well. So a lot of the teams have used up some of their allocation there. And that's kind of your main like push meta, you know, when you use Toxic and then go in. So having less of those available is going to change how people play. We've only seen 2 Ulurus used so far by the look of it from Sammy's team and Mendo, right? So we've got quite a few Ulurus left to go. That fire for using defensively, blocking routes, for following up on knocks is very, very useful as well. We've only seen 1 Luna left as well. So a lot of teams holding back some of those stronger operators for the later games like we thought they would do. But maybe surprised to see so many Raptors used. I wasn't really sure how Raptor might work in this kind of environment, but obviously worked well for Sammy's team, but also used by J-Device and Breadman as well for some more intel gathering there.
Yeah, I like that. Vivid, any shouts from you?
You know, after watching that, right, and how many fights that we saw, the fact that, you know, some Toxic and Stingers were on a team, the passive, because they are support characters, you know, kind of giving that faster res off, right? That's going to play a big factor. So, you know, you kind of asked the question before the games actually started, hey, listen, what do you think about the operators? Now, you know, seeing how that game kind of played out, I would really like to kind of spread out the Stinger and the Toxic picks to kind of make sure that you have at least one of them available in each one of the games, right? Because we are playing 4 games, so it would be possible for you to go, you know, Toxic, and then Stinger, so that way you do have that ability to go ahead and res faster. The only team that did go ahead and use a combination of both of them, so they effectively will not be able to do that in each one of the games, would be Team Caffey right there, because they did have a Stinger and a Toxic. So I kind of like what the teams are thinking with that, you know, faster res passive. Very, very smart.
Yeah, no, that's a really good shout, honestly, Vivid. I think both of y'all's breakdowns were great. The other thing, again, a little bit surprised, but it does make sense from just an information gathering tool. We saw half the teams running a Raptor. This is the first time we've seen Raptor in like a semi-competitive format, which is pretty cool here in operations. So fun to jump into the next one. I think we're almost ready for the game. So Ben, I want to go to you here. We're moving to Brackish. Any words of wisdom for our next map as we're jumping into this one? Maybe what are some differences, obviously, for those at home who haven't seen this at a competitive level with how fast this could play? Brackish versus Zero Dam, for instance.
Yeah, it's a totally different dynamic, really. Like we talked about earlier, there's loads of different routes you can take around. You don't get quite as pinched down into the same areas as much as you do in Zero Dam. You can also get some hectic fights around the Mandelbrick. I remember in previous tournaments, I think the China Invitational, seeing a huge fight in the sort of Old Town area in the middle, and teams just piling on, and the Mandelbrick going back and forth. And that village area is very hard to defend, and almost ends up being just the last team to just kind of hang in there and mop up at the end. You don't always want to be the third party. You want to be the fourth or the fifth party that's the last people to roll in and just pick everyone off while they're vulnerable, and then you can take advantage of that and get the Mandelbrick, right? That's what the teams have got to do. It doesn't matter that they're 10 million behind Sammy's team. They need to get a Mandelbrick, and then they can get on the same playing field here.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny, Bid, because your shout about, hey, let's loot up and get some value so that we can be more prepared for these next rounds. Sammy did it all in the first round. Got the kills, got the loot, and got the battle bricks. So they've got a huge advantage going into Brackish. Ben, we'll check back in with you here in just a little bit. The game is getting started. It is time for Brackish. And Vivid, if I remember correctly, and nothing has changed, which I don't believe it has, our Mandelbrick is going to be spawning in Museum near dead center of map.
Wow. So yeah, definitely going to be a spawn that is going to have some early priority over that one. Usually how Brackish plays out, right? A couple of teams are going to be spawning towards the tower. A lot of teams on the north side as well. And then usually one of the teams has an early advantage towards running into the museum. So early vantage point over top of the Mandelbrick for them. It's going to be interesting to see what team is going to be blessed with that spawn, as you can see it right there. But here we go, game number 2, an early lead and a big ups for Sammy Zucks, Lasik, and Muyo. And as you can see early on, The gun, it looks like a full meta build I would buy with my 1 billion stash value, right? The gold bullets is going to be in as well. Full investment. Why not? You're rich.
Dude, also getting the T1 spawn next to the museum is crazy. Now, last time they didn't, came in third party and it worked out for them. This time they get Prio spawn, and we'll see if maybe they're the ones getting third party and getting taken down early. But they do have an advantage. And Sammy has double committed to Raptor, by the way. He's committing at the very beginning of this tournament to run both the Raptors off rip. They will not be able to use this again. Obviously, a lot of value there to be able to see where they are.
And an early knock, right?
Okay.
Psychop is going to be knocked over there and actually going to be fooled, so only has 1 life remaining if they are able to pick up that res, and it looks like they are going to be able to go ahead and do that. And hey, just rinse and repeat for Sammy Sucks & Co right now, right? Early control over the initial building, kind of getting blessed 2 games in a row with the spawns, but taking full advantage of it, making sure that they go ahead and loot up. There's no rush to go ahead and pick up the mantle brick right now. And yeah, the res is going to try to come in. Rockstar's going to be full aware of the fact that Chap equal plays. They're going to be trying to push in from over here, but the Stinger res is going to make this just a little bit quicker, so they should be fine.
Watch out, we could have like...
Yeah, this would be a very aggressive push off rip if you're J-Device and Chap. Equal plays, obviously a very strong team.
We have a molly here. We need to move. So that's perfect. Nice cam. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I think we just take Medwing and loot this now if they're...
Do we go cross?
Yeah, we're gonna go cross.
Okay, brick is up, able to be grabbed. There is a small timer before it can be picked up. We know Sammy's team is in museum already, and it looks like this squad is headed straight to museum, should interact with them shortly. And down goes the drone over the top, which means they know who's inside. It is at least a Raptor. It's just a matter of who is running it.
Just repair.
Yeah, so Sammy is going to be fully aware of the fact that this team is going to be pushing from over here. You see the little bit of a timer that is on your screen there. That means it's basically a timer that this team has to go ahead and decode before that timer runs out. Else the mana break resets. It kind of prevents teams from just camping with the mana break in some odd position. So there is something to be said and look out for that 4-minute and 30-second timer. As you can see here, the other side of things, Nowhere, Caffrey Plays, and Gorilla, they're going to be sharing tower, actually, on the side of Summit, Mendo, and Alb. So tower currently occupied by 2 teams. They're kind of separated, and they're just looking to go ahead and loot.
Yeah, and actually, off screen, I did see that they've at least picked up a fossil for like 334 or something like that.
Nice.
So they found a couple small reds and some decent loot thus far. Maybe actually he pulls it here. Sorry, I might have a little bit of a sneak peek. Ooh, my bad.
I'm Traveler Ghost.
Little prophecy. Just picked up his fossil, looking pretty solid to start things off. And this is the thing about this map as well, Viv, is what we see in esports, is what we see in these show matches. If you do pull Tower of Babel, you know you're going to be late to the mantle brick anyways. Might as well go for all of the high value loot here first, and then you make your way out of here. Remember though, every kill's a million Technic alloy, so it's kind of a, do we want to play high risk, high reward, or do we want to play a little bit slower and maybe not pick up quite as much value, but it is a lot safer.
Okay,
Absolutely, and on the other side of something that's not necessarily as safe, having the mana break and pushing over towards the decode station. It looks like right now Sammy Sucks & Co, they're using the Raptor drone to go ahead and look over top of the decode station. Let's go ahead and take a listen in here, go to see what their plan is right now.
Go now, go now, go now.
How's the threat?
Oh.
Walking for stamina here. Running here. Might be bots. Bots.
I saw bots on the road on my bird.
I'm at hazard 0.
Wow. Gosh. They're decoding. They don't care. Already going for it.
I mean, hey, might as well. I mean, at the very least, it gives you some sort of semblance of control, right? Like, you know exactly where you need to defend. You know where everybody's trying to get to.
Play around here. Play your audio.
Everybody on the map can see the decoding station that has been selected.
What if I just play on this? What if I play on this? I can play audio here. I think I can play audio here.
Okay, I'm playing audio here.
Because I have smoke. I can hold it very easily with smoke.
Yeah, and they have so much control over this area. It was very smart of them to go for this decoding station specifically. As you can see, a quick peek there at Muyo Muyo's inventory. Full gold loadout for sure. For definitely going to be all of them. 3 minutes remaining on this decode. They have so much control over it because they have kind of the high ground over top of the decode station, and there's kind of like these staircases that lead up to them, right? And running up a staircase at them is not going to be the easiest thing in the world either. So they have a very strong position to go ahead and lock down the second mana break of this competition. And if they effectively do that, let's think about how the leaderboard could play out after this, right? If they get this second mana break, they've all but locked in at least second place, because only one other team would be able to, you know, pick up 2 mana breaks in games 3 and 4. So this is huge.
Fortune favors the bold in a competition like this.
I don't want to give them like too much space. Right now.
I hear someone jumping like over here near blue. Yeah, like right on that ping.
Yeah, man, I can't get into my spot. Shots in tower. Stone's up on 230.
Sounds like they're willing to play pretty slow to start things off. They played really aggressive last time and they got punished for it.
I got bird up against
They know
you.
some people are around and they're willing to play a bit slower. There's enough time on the clock that they can be patient.
We want to keep them down.
But it's looking at some of the loadouts there for Breadman,
just
right?
keep
Purple
careful.
ammo is going to be loaded for them, so kind of scary in that regard, because if they did go ahead and push the mana break, they would be facing gold armor, and they would be at a huge disadvantage. So not sure if they have the hindsight to go ahead and think about the fact that, hey, listen, Sammy's team going to be on the mana break. They're going to be in gold. We have purple. We don't want to push it. But some of the teams, listen, they're looking like they're trying to get closer. Chap, Data Vise, and Equal Plays looking like they want to try to get in somewhat of a position to maybe play for this mana break. Of course, we saw Breadman, Voet, and Precision as well over there in the hotel, kind of looking and trying to scope things out, but nobody's really daring to go ahead and push or invest anything towards this mana break. Are they going to get it for free?
I sure hope not. Especially with this much on the line. But nobody is moving this direction.
Okay. On my red ping over there. Oh, you can't see.
This is crazy.
Archway by the decode.
I mean, look at the position, right? We can see from his POV, it's so scary to go ahead and push that, right? Look at all of the headies that
there they go
on up there, and
Right,
just super scary. Take a look at the map, though, right? Another team's going to be coming in from the south. 1 minute remaining on the decode right now.
This team just gets brick for free. So come with me. Let's watch the height. We unfortunately have to steal. Oh, this is so bad. He just jump shot me. I'm healing right
Yeah, it is so bad. Hey, this is why getting the brick early, obviously they had priority spawn. They got a lot of luck on their side. They won't have priority spawn next map 100%. But it's a benefit to get this aggressive. And some of the other teams got punished early, so they're playing a bit slower. And now they have to move. 30 seconds to play for the steal. It's going to be Zap's team maybe first to shoot.
They're full gold.
They grenaded me.
Okay, you're good. Let them retake. We keep that position.
20 seconds. It looks like they went ahead and forced off Sammy's team. Knew there was a third team in the vicinity. As you can see over there, the comms were coming in from Zapak. He said, let them take it. Very smart right there, because if he effectively shot them while they were on the decode, then boom, Sammy's team would have just gotten it for free, right? So very smart from Zapak right there to go ahead and let, I believe it probably would have been Chap's team, go ahead and steal the mana brick whilst they were kind of Tempest ulting towards Sammy's team. Now they're going to go ahead and back up, reset, make sure they are not the ones that are going to be third-partied. Now LASIK, Sammy sucks. They have to go ahead and recapture the mana break.
I'm taking mantle. Got it.
Able to retake. It's going to reset the timer to about 3 minutes, I believe. We've got plenty of time on the clock comparatively in zero team. Very weak, though. Less trouble. But with this team, so should be fine here with some nice cover over the top.
Saw that red repair. That's going to be huge to go ahead and repair. You could probably imagine the gold armor might have just actually saved him right there from going down. So again, kind of already seeing some of those advantages being played up, but now it's a full reset. Sammy Sucks and Co. They're still in this advantageous position. 2 minutes left. I mean, the only reason that they lost it in the first place was there was kind of like this pseudo 6v3 kind of going on simultaneously that was able to actually allow Chap to go ahead and secure that decode. Is that going to happen again, or Sammy Sucks kind of in that good position?
That's a great question. Nice angle over the top here. Oh, nice pickup.
Oh, wow.
Gotta make a move on this. The question is how. With one down, you can make a move for the retake on the brick. Oh my gosh.
Oh, jeez.
Straight shooter. Good grief.
Yeah. And as you can see, Toxic finding incredible value right there. Again, that res comes in so fast for Sammy Sucks. But as the fight goes on, look at this. Voet, Breadman, and Precision, they're fully aware of that. The sniper, you called him out, goes. Breadman's known for it. Knocks out Moyo Moyo. The assist is going to be coming in from the Allure rocket, now left as a duo. They still do have control over the decoding station, but Toxic Alt coming in. They're going to be having to go ahead and remove that. And the armor is not in a good situation right now for Sammy. Sammy has to stop jumping, by the way, because Equal Plays was able to take him out before from the building offset of this position because he jumps so much.
He's aggressive. He's getting excited. Two pushing up. Nice trades. Hip fire shots come in and a nice trade with the teammate. Lasik comes in. That's two. Getting one knock in the backside. Going to force Zapbox team off. But Breadman's team getting aggressive here. Going to make a push. We got 70 seconds on the clock for the brick, but they got to play for the kills to even have a chance to retake this steal. They know they have an advantage. They got to push it. One traded out. It's going to be a 2v2, but they get one. It's going to be a 2v1 for the final fight for Sammy Suck's team. Are the infallible finally fallible? Will Precision make a trade here through the smoke?
I'm trying to back up.
Bread is down, and they're backing up right now with 45 seconds on the clock.
I got you.
I think they could have played for the trade, maybe, but instead, going to try to play safe.
Yeah, they went ahead and opted for the reset right there because they heard the other team coming in. Precision is going to be well aware of that. Chap steals a mana break, jumps up top. He picks up two. That's going to be Voa, Precision, and Breadman. They're going to be knocked out of the competition right now. What's going on with Sammy's team, though? Were they able to go ahead and find the res, right? There was only one left alive on him team. You got to imagine that they must have went down. Full reset now. Chap, J-Device, and Equal Plays are in that position that Sammy Sucks just found himself in. Right? They have the advantage now.
Just run train, get to us.
There's a look at it.
I'm very low on everything.
I'm good.
It does look like.
Back to our building now. Come to me.
Equal Plays, Chat, J-Device have complete control
come left with me on
over the situation. I'm still seeing movement on the point. I'd love if we can swap back over.
Like, just sit here and defend this brick from this building.
It wasn't a full wipe, maybe, on those teams. It looks like.
So,
which was our expectation.
That's okay.
I think Sammy is alive as a solo because there's one white dot right there in the center right there. So there's definitely a solo left alive for this team. But Equal Plays, Chap, and J-Device, they fully retreated to this building, right? They gave up that position to go ahead and defend the mana from over here, right? The only trio left over here kind of fighting for it is going to be Zapbox trio, but they can see all the bodies on the ground. They are fully aware that there is a solo somewhere because they can see the two bodies on the ground. He's going to go ahead and sniff them out. That's going to be Lasik left alive as a solo. Is going to be found to his demise. The Allure Rockets are going to try to defend the mana break. 1 minute remaining. Can J-Device, Chap, and Co. defend this?
Sticking it.
Reset this quick. You got
a big pickup. That's Sammy's team fully wiped, I believe. And that's the value of Tempest. What a steal.
Yeah, go for it.
I have scanned back.
Yeah, huge there, finding value from that. Now 2 minutes remains for Zapbox, Flycop, and Roxo. So next time this is stolen, it's going to be very, very low, just 90 seconds. So Chap, J-Device, and Equal Plays, they have to play very, very fast right now. When we were looking at the map, by the way, there were still two teams in tower. So this is essentially a 3v3 right now.
Down here, okay?
I touched them.
Two isolated fights, the fight in tower and the fight for the brick.
Or anything, no?
No, I need.
Here, I got a little something. I got a 66.
Listen,
by the way, the Tempest can use the discharges through these walls right here. We just saw him use it towards the mana break, which would cancel the seizure of the mana break. So they can kind of, play to defend it from this position right now, but only one more disarm is left available right now.
We can ape this guy?
I don't know. 40. I don't hit him. He's further away, he's probably below. Bird.
I destroy the bird.
37 seconds on the clock. Chap, J-Device, Equal Plays down below. I'm loving this free cam perspective. We are running out of daylight, and it's a true 3v3. Everybody up, everybody healthy, but we are running out of daylight. We got to make a move. We got to make a move now, and there's the move. There's the action. One goes down. It's going to be a 3v2. 20 seconds. Got to go for a seize while also not losing your life. Chap, J-Device, where are you? Hello, I found you again. That's two. Zapbot going crazy for his team to set his team up, but somebody's got to go for the seize.
Only 15 seconds left, right? The trade does come in. There's going to be a solo left. He's going to be on the mana break directly. That was going to be J-Device trying to steal it away. Unsuccessful in that regard. So Zapbox, Rockstar, and Psycop are going to have full control over the mana break. There's going to be 90 seconds before they are able to go ahead and decode this successfully. We got to ask the question, though, Goj. Are the teams in tower still there? Are they ever going to show up to this mana break?
I have no idea. I want to say, based on our feed, it actually looks like during all of that chaos, I want to say maybe there was a fight that went down inside of the Tower of Babel. Let's try to get a read on that here shortly. Obviously, we had to keep our eyes on the brick. And we're getting some nice loot, obviously, on Psycop here after. I mean, there's bodies everywhere, so these These ID tags, obviously the dog tags are 150k, so that's very valuable. But they're just going to sit on brick and make sure that they get it. I'm taking a look at our back end feed. I think that Summit Squad got wiped.
That looks like Summit Squad went down in the tower. That was going to be a straight up 3v3 in the tower while all of this was going down. As you can see now we kind of see the bird's eye view from the map. Gorilla, Nowhere, and Caffrey, they're apparently completely content with conceding this mantle brick in its entirety. I mean, of course, they had to rotate out of tower with another team though, so maybe they were kind of worried about that, but looks like they won the fight and they still did not push the mantle brick. So there it is. The mantle brick leaderboard is going to be taking a little bit of a shake up right there, as Zapok's team is going to be jumping up into either first or second place. The tiebreaker, of course, between this team and Sammy's team will be stash value, so we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. But you would imagine that after this game, right, picking up all of this gold stuff, all the dog tags that are in the area, Zapok might be in the lead.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, and I think you called it out perfectly, the fight inside of the Tower of Babel stalled these two teams out. Obviously, Nowhere, Caffrey, Gorilla, they win the fight, which is huge for them. That's 3 kills. That's 3 mil no matter what. They've been looting up a ton, so they've got a nice stash value probably inside their safe boxes. But I think the big question now is, I think we got about 60 seconds or so on the clock, maybe a hair more, to get out of the map. Like, we can still technically see extractions here. You save all the loot you brought in, and you pick up your kill loot, and you pick up everything in your bag. Like, that's a huge value add, not only for the leaderboard, but also for your loadout for the next round.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought they...
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was thinking maybe that somebody was going to take dog tag here, right? And kind of just, like, stack all of the value onto one member. Only one person can take that dog tag extract. But I guess they're going to be opting to maybe just try to all 3 of them put as much loot as they can in their safe box, and that's going to be how they're going to get out. But I mean, Zapok seems going to be very, very happy with this. They're going to go ahead and take no backpack, so yeah, they can't put any like giant items in there, but they're going to be walking out with what, 2 guns, their safe box probably loaded up with dog tags, ammo in their rigs and their pockets, everything like that. So yeah, huge raid for this trio for sure.
Yeah, really, really good game. And this is what I expected from this squad. I think they're really talented, and I think they've all got their individual skills, but they also have the knowledge of how to play a comp format like this. And so it's working out for them in the second round. Be very curious to see how much we lost on Sammy's side, because I do think they actually got a couple kills in that round as well. So they're not really losing value, and they already had a nice stash value on top. But I guess they spent a lot of money on their loadout. Pretty cool stuff. So great job from all of our teams. I really liked, actually, Breadman's position coming in late into that fight. It was just too much chaos to stay alive. There's a quick look at maybe a sneak peek at our overall leaderboard as we fly out of the map, and the game is over. What a map. Dude, this format is crazy. It is non-stop action. Finn, welcome back, dude. What did you think about Brackish?
Yeah, another great game. I thought great to see. It was so close with that break going to Sammy's team right at the beginning, right? And I'm sure they would have been very happy about it. But for everyone else watching, it's great to see that go to someone else. It was traded back and forth. Decode of the brick started much, much earlier this time. Last game, I think we probably had 6 minutes on the clock before we even saw it go in. But this time, 13 plus minutes, first mantle brick. And it just went back and forth, back and forth. Really strong defensive position again that Sammy's team were in there. Like I think you mentioned during the cast, it's a good spot to go for it. I think some of the other ones I've seen on Brackish when you're in the middle of the old town, like we talked about, are just carnage, whereas that was a little easier to hold. But yeah, I'm really pleased to see, you know, how Zapok's team managed to deal with that. Like we talked about, they kind of came in with the, you know, managed to stay alive till later in the game, come in when everyone else is hurt and just pick up the pieces a little bit. And then they only really had to defend against, it was Chap's team coming in, trying to attack at the end there, and I think J Device he was left as a solo one spot, but they only really had to defend against that one team coming in, and the tower teams just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah. And that oftentimes happens with our tower teams, obviously, because they have to fight each other. Like, they can't just leave necessarily. I mean, I guess you could. Hopefully you don't get shot in the back, but fun stuff there. Let's look back on that map and the replays from that one. Ben, I'll toss it right back to you to talk me through some of the replays. Like we said, action-packed and some early fights.
Yeah, really early knock there from Equal, but they got that res. We also saw the boss go down. I'm not sure if we saw it on the broadcast. I saw it in the feed, the helicopter boss. I don't know if they wanted to loot that or maybe just so it wasn't flying around trying to shoot you all game is probably pretty useful. But yeah, some great early action, and then most of it concentrated around obviously this Mandelbrick area when they went for that early decode. quite a few knocks again going on. We had a Toxic, I think, on Sammy's team. I think it might have been 2 games in a row they had a Toxic, right? So they had quick revives again there. They had smokes. There was a crazy amount of util coming in on some of these knocks as well, right? We saw some of Sammy's teammates go down there, and then we just saw about 5 Uluru nades and rockets come flying in. But this was the big push that came in that took out most of Sammy's team. I think it was Lessig that survived for a while. We saw Lessig hanging on as a solo, getting in the mix a little bit. There he is, and that's Lessig getting taken down. And then after that, it was just down to a couple of teams. And here we are. I think this is the tower teams, right, having their scrap. We didn't really manage to see much of that, but that was Summit's team getting taken out by Gorilla's team. I was a little surprised we didn't see maybe one of Gorilla's team take the dog tag extract that you mentioned during the cast. I thought they might go and grab that to get some stuff out, but they decided to go for the safe box route and keep the dog tags. This is the clear up. I think we saw Gorilla coming out into the surrounding area around the tower and then getting the different angles, and they just picked them apart, surrounded them there. But yeah, this was the thick of it. The Mounder Brick, they got the last go on the Mounder Brick with plenty of time to spare, and we actually saw someone extract from the round as well. I think it was Zapok or one of their team members. It was just 1 slot on the no bag because you're onto the hard mode rules, so they got the no bag, and we saw someone leave the round, and there you go with the leaderboards.
Yeah, this is just game 2's leaderboards. This isn't our total. This is just what they earned in this round. Obviously, not as big of a round technically as Sammy's team, Vivid, but talk me through some of these scores. Still some solid numbers across the board.
Yeah, we were kind of questioning what the economy was going to look like for Sammy's team after that one. Yeah, they did pick up 1 kill, but, you know, netting right there, a minus 1.6 million alloy in the game right there, which, you know, honestly is not that bad considering how much stuff they actually bought. So I think their first game was actually so good that their economy might be good enough to just continuously buy all of that armor and gear that we just kind of saw them in right there. But hey, listen, once again, we're seeing Team Caffrey. They've got to be pretty wealthy at this point as well, because in game number 1, they were the second team right there. They pick up like 4 mil there. In the game number 2, they do the same thing. Yeah, they're not making it out of these raids or anything like that. They're not fighting for the minute break, but they're doing well asset-wise.
Yeah, take a look at our overall. The gap has been closed here, Ben. Obviously, a couple teams near the bottom. They haven't been able to get much going in the first 2 rounds, but things are pretty even, Ben.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see maybe J Device's team up there as well. Obviously, Caffrey's team second place going into game 2, but Device's team and Caffrey's team both managed to get a decent amount of money despite Zapok's team obviously getting the Mandel Brick and essentially the win in that game. But I think a lot of that comes down to what we saw with the kills in that previous graphic, right? The kills are much more spread around different teams this time round. That game 1, Sammy's team had 12 kills or whatever, took home, you know, so much of the money, million alloy per kill. When they're spread around each team, lots of different teams picking them up, then it's going to keep this much more even. And it's super close now at the top. What, 3 million between Sammy and Zapok's team, only 1 Mounder Brick each, and now it's going to be down to the other 4 teams to try and make sure they can get the next Mounder Brick, and they don't want to let them pull away and get 2 in game 2, because like you said earlier, you get 2, you're guaranteed at least second, right?
Yeah, exactly. We are headed to Space City next. We're going to play Space City back-to-back, folks. We're going to let the players breathe for a second because it's been utter carnage, as Ben like to say. I totally agree. Carnage, chaos, and everything in between. We'll take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, Game 3, Space City. Game 4, the last game right after that. Space City again. Who will win? Only time will tell.
Should we really be sending her to the front lines in her current state?
You ought to know her better.
Stop!
Lena Vandermeer, codename Vlinder, role support. Vlinder is a medical specialist from GTI Europe, specializing in pharmaceutical research, possessing outstanding medical expertise, and a strong sense of responsibility. Vlinder's med drones can be deployed to a targeted area, dispersing med-infused nanobots that restore teammates' health, providing them with an adrenaline boost. They may also be deployed on herself, following and continuously restoring her own health for a limited time. Her windmill smoke grenades are guided by gesture censoring tech. Upon impact with a service, grenades create a cloud of smoke, creating cover for teammates.
Smoke grenade out.
Blinder's Flutter Rescue UAVs will automatically target downed teammates, administer medical injections when deployed. Once the injection is administered, Blinder may approach the downed teammate and manually revive them. During deployment, the UAVs may also utilize their active defense system, automatically absorbing 1 instance of explosive damage per deployment, and applying a buff effect of Linder.
Counting on you guys. Vital signs stable. Prepare for rescue. I've got you. It's taking effect. I'm here. Feeling better.
I got double side. Nice, good damage, good damage, good damage.
Dark dart. My dark.
One crack.
Knock one. I'm dead.
Somebody's dead.
Get mollied though.
Got one.
Yeah, I got it.
Go back, everyone, go back. Okay.
I'm in.
Grief AI.
Nice. Knocked one.
Give me a second.
Left, I'm making it. On the left, I'm touching him.
Yeah. In the corner.
Dead.
Nice, retake.
No, you retake.
Nice work, operator.
All right, we are back with the Elite Operation Show match, and it certainly has been elite. It has been elite and chaotic and carnage and everything in between. Been really fun stuff. We're halfway through. Leaderboard's looking pretty solid. I want you to walk us through the operator selections that we've had thus far, though, because, again, every team can only use each operator twice in our overall competition, and it already looks like some of our operators might be grayed out. Walk me through this graphic.
Yeah, there's been some interesting choices. We kind of saw a full commit there from Sammy's team. I think they thought, let's just see if we can get this second mantle brick and get a leaderboard place wrapped up. They used their second toxic already, is a huge one to lose. Raptor has worked really well for them as well, but I guess they're both kind of ones you can sort of swap in a sub. You're probably going to see Tammy's team bringing in a Stinger now, and then a Luna. They haven't used any of their Lunas, or their Tempest as well, if they want to get a bit more aggressive rather than, been playing quite defensive so far. One Luna out of the pool already is Zapox team. They've lost theirs. We've lost another Raptor with J Device team, but quite similar. You can see between the teams, we haven't seen any kind of crazy curveballs yet. Obviously, with only 4 games and the amount of operators, they don't have to use, 1 or 2 of every operator, but we might see someone having to run maybe a Nox. We haven't seen a Nox yet.
Yep.
Seneva we haven't had yet. And Viron, pretty unpopular as well. There's only been 1 Viron. I thought maybe we might see another one chucking in for, good little push there when you want to push a corner with the propulsion.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Vivid, what about you? Obviously, we're moving to Space City. Anybody you'd prio going into this one?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier on. I think that Luna is probably going to be prioritized by some of our teams that are kind of thinking about the longevity of their comps. I think Luna's probably going to be that most valuable operator when it comes to Space City. Just the dart being able to be used outside, and then the fact that you have these shocks and the grenades. If anybody's kind of watched this type of format in, the Global League before, I have seen that the decoding stations, they're usually in like pretty tight corridors, right? Like I've seen it, inside in a little bit of a hallway, just shocks and grades. You're gonna find incredible value there. Seems like every single time that we kind of watch where the team decides to go towards the decoding station at, it's like a prime spot where Luna's just gonna get incredible value there. Only a couple of our teams picking up Luna once each. There's gonna be Mendo and Breadman, and then Zaphod gonna be using it both times. So only going to be available a limited time for a couple of those teams, but for a lot of the teams, available 2 times still. So I'm assuming Luna is going to find the most amount of value here.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sammy in particular, I would be very surprised if he wasn't running Luna, frankly. If he ran Raptor the first 2 rounds, he's obviously probably being the information gathering, operator or person or role on his team. So I'd expect to see him run Luna probably as well. You're right, though. The decoding stations on Space City are wild. There is one literally in a hallway, so maybe some Alurus to take care of with some incendiaries. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be chaos. We know that for a fact. And then there's the most notorious decoding station, which is kind of in the middle of what I'm calling the quad, in the center part of the map. It's really not far actually from where you pick up the mantle brick, and that's the one that we've seen the most at the highest level. We saw it in China, we saw it in the stages leading up to China, we saw it in the Delta Force Global League with some crazy plays as well. It's kind of an alleyway between 2 of the buildings inside of the center of the map. So we'll be watching out for those decoding stations and also the T1 spawns. Ben, we talked a little bit about spawns. We talked about some of our teams. Sammy's team got prio spawn T1 in the last round, which means they will not 100% will not have the priority spawn for Space City. How much impact do you think that is playing right now of team first to the brick having a lot more value? Because we've seen it kind of go both ways at this point.
Yeah, definitely gives you a big advantage when you get that brick early in terms of being decisive about where you go, but it doesn't necessarily, put you in an advantageous position because, we've seen the third party, the fourth party, the fifth party be so strong anyway. I think what might be interesting to see if any of those teams who haven't got a mantle brick yet decide to try and rush for it. They want to try and get onto that leaderboard and commit to that, because obviously only 1 more game after this, so that's 2 more mandal bricks only up for grabs, and you're going to need at least 1 to be able to beat any of those teams who have 1, and the chance of getting 2 now for those teams with 0 is quite slim. So might see some of those teams who spawn outside trying to get in the middle quickly perhaps, and obviously the launch tower spawn, if you have a team down there, they're going to make a push in early.
I like it. Well, we'll check back in with Ben, our amazing analyst. Great rundowns thus far. Right after this Space City map, Vivid. We're loading in, my man, and I'm taking a look at some of the spawns as we're getting into the action here shortly. Excited to talk about some things. I think a couple big key factors I'm keeping an eye out for is who's first to the brick, who's first to getting blood early, and then also near the end of the game, who's camping that bridge position for extract if the mantle brick has already been taken out and people aren't able to get there fast enough. If we see what we saw in the last map with the team coming out of the Tower of Babel late on Space City, oftentimes Central Command can be that building that maybe you're playing for early, then you're wrapping around for the bridge. I don't know. It's going to be carnage, and these teams are going to get really aggressive, I have a feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. Space City is one of those unique maps where everybody kind of spawns outside of the middle, so it's kind of like this dash towards the center. But as you can see here, Zaphod going to be finding early value. That's going to be on the precision end of it. They were trying to take the zip line across and using the smoke for cover, but I think experienced players like this know exactly where to shoot in a smoke like that, especially when they know exactly where that zip line kind of puts you. So they're going to be going ahead and try to put themselves in an aggressive position here, and absolutely 3 early kills for the team that just secured a mantle brick.
1 HP.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Dang, I love you, Breadman. That is a brutal way to start this game, and honestly, just kind of an unfortunate position on the spawn. Having played it enough and watched it enough, you know this can be a possibility. Went for a bit of a risky play, like you said, to take the zip early and throw the smoke to try to cover, but it just wasn't enough. So an early wipe, and I am getting confirmation, by the way, that is a full team wipe on that Breadman squad. They are out of this lobby already, and we just got started less than 60 seconds ago. Holy cow. Oh, no way.
Oh, man. Zaphod gonna be putting shots out on an unsuspecting chap. I have no idea how he's not looking out this way, right? We just heard a fight go down over here. The sniper scav just shot. Everything was kind of televised here to make this well known. Zaphod gonna be going on the aggressive right now. Has no armor, equal plays
No.
It's like laying down, trying to find some cover, maybe trying to rat right now. So far, this whole team, J-Device, Equal Plays, and Chap, they just went down and I think they shot like 2 bullets.
Yeah, what just happened? We just watched Zapbok team wipe 2 full rosters. Both of those teams are out of this lobby, folks.
He's knocked.
Oh, there's Gorilla.
Look at this. And Gorilla's like, oh, wow, this is the team that just took out 2 other teams. Let me try to be the 3rd. Gorilla's going to be playing that Tempest right now, right? That ult was going to be activated. So, yeah, that knock does come in, but not necessarily that impactful in terms of a reset there for Gorilla's team, but Zapbok finally get an opportunity to go ahead and reset right now. Going to be going ahead and repairing the armor, and it looks like one of our teams is already decoding. Is that what I see?
Take some weapon on the guy, okay? You got the same build as
I think so. It should be here shortly, if not already. Crazy stuff happening on this map. What in the world?
Process of elimination. We just saw Gorilla right there was fighting, right? So, and Zapbok's team right here obviously fighting. So there's only 2 other teams left in the lobby, Summit's team and Sammy's team. So it's got to be one of those teams probably decoding whilst all of this fighting is going on.
I can imagine. We'll swap over, I'm sure, as soon as we can. Zap's team trying to get some information on
okay, I need K4 bullets.
Where is this team gone?
See, like someone with K4 bullets, I need. Rockstar, sorry.
I haven't checked anyone. I'm holding Psycho.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna check this body.
All right, well, they're going to loot up here inside of the position. Now, I am getting word that Mandelbrick has been decoded, or at least started to decode, rather, like you expected. Now, it is not this team. They are playing around my favorite Mandelbrick decoding station right in that alleyway I was just talking about just a second ago. But it is Sammy's team that is elected to start the decode early, and they have elected to go indoors. Vivid, you called it perfectly.
That inside of Black Chamber right now, this is actually that hallway that we were talking about. We've seen some crazy plays in this hallway. Look at all the Utah that can find value. I've seen Snevas kind of walk up to this decoding station and find incredible value. Obviously, mollies and shocks and nades are going to be really, really good on the side of Sammy right now. And the fact that there's only around 2 minutes remaining, and if you take a look at the map on the right side of your screen, no team is kind of trying to work towards a Black Chamber. They're kind of chilling out in Buoyancy. Is going to be Zapbok. Centrifuge is going to be Gorilla's team. And Mendo, Summit, and Alb, they're trying to kind of just get in the center right now and figure out what the heck's going on.
We fight. We hold this to our death, okay?
Yep. Because if we get this right here, we win.
Technically, yes.
What do you mean
there
technically?
Could be a team coming from garage. It could be a team coming from main reception. It could be a team coming from CEO. If the team coming, if a team's coming from garage.
See if there's an armor swap or something.
Bro just named like half the map.
Yeah, he's like, that could be a team on the map. Oh, okay, well, yeah, you are correct.
I love it. Bounce for the shock dart right here while we're just chilling. They're gonna steal it probably anyways.
See, I like this because it's like, okay, nice. He's trying to find some like cringe little lineups right now. But if you use that shock, hey, that thing's gonna be on cooldown. And playing Luna, when you get into a sticky situation, you're gonna want both of those. So yeah, he kind of opts to not do that, which I like. A minute and 15 remaining, and with that little time, he's gonna need these shocks very, very soon because I'm assuming that some team is gonna make a push at some point in this next minute.
I love it when you call Sammy's strats cringe. It's so good.
Top right, Zapbok is going to find a knock onto nowhere, so they actually might be preoccupied maybe. So much so that they can't push this. We'll have to see what happens here.
45 seconds. Somebody's got to make a move.
Sammy's like about to get pushed and he's finding spots. This guy has no sense of urgency, I don't think. 30 seconds. I mean, maybe the other teams don't have a sense of urgency. Is anybody going to push this?
We're actually rotating on. I respect that so much.
Coming in.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. The top, maybe.
Yep. Way top. We'll cross mid.
Yep.
15 seconds. I'm not seeing anybody in a position to push this.
10 seconds. Tempest. This arm does come in, right? So a team is interested in going ahead and push this. Lasik is trying to fend off right now. He finds the knock onto Rockstar. This is going to be Zapbok's team. 2 seconds remaining. Can Sammy's team stay alive to go ahead and secure the Mandel brick? They got it. They got it.
Oh, they got it right before he died.
Literally. Like, what was that? A half second?
So as a reminder, folks, if maybe you've tuned into Delta Force Global League in the past or DFI qualifiers or anything like that, in the past, it would not stop the timer and you could post-mortem basically extract and decode the mana brick. In this new tournament server, if you full wipe the team that's decoding, it pauses the timer. Yeah. Zap knows that. He's read the rules. Kind of far. So he knows that if we would have just slayed that team out a second faster, the timer would have been paused on 1 second. We could have stolen. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Sammy goes to 2 mana bricks, but is out of this lobby. We still got a game to play, though, and we still have 11 minutes on the clock. This right here is going to set up everybody else to play for the rest of the leaderboard. Sammy's team hasn't necessarily won yet. There is another team with a mana brick, but they've set themselves up to be a top 2 team. There is no question about it now.
He's below.
Oh my gosh. Mendo sees a player that's going to be right below them right there through the bulletproof glass. The Luna arrow is going to be finding huge value right now, but I think the player snuck in underneath. He did. That's going to be Psych Up, so he's going to be playing third party right now. Mendo finds a knock right there. So now Zapok's team is going to be down to just a duo. Right above Mendo, Summit, and Alb is definitely going to be Gorilla because we just saw Nowhere get knocked right in that position. So now Zapok and Rockstar did not follow up on that aggressive play from Psychop, and they're going to be playing a little bit more, defensive. But, I mean, this map is kind of all about kills right now as Mendo is going to be looting a body in the open. Zapok is like, yo, Mendo, what are you doing, bro?
Looking for some loot.
Wow.
Zap finds Gorilla over the top. It was a 3v2, and now all of a sudden it's a 2v1 on the opposite side. Zap putting on a show for us, folks. You got to remember, Zap's team's the only other team with a brick. So he was able to take down Sammy's squad. It's a full team of 3. He already wiped 2 other teams of 3. This is about to be a monster game for him. We'll still be behind Sammy on the leaderboard because Sammy has 2 mana bricks, but it's put him in position to where if they're able to get the mana brick in the next round, they're Vivid. They'll likely be ahead of them in loot. More fights to be had, though. We got to hunt down Summit.
Zapok has actually shot so many bullets this match that he had to get a reload right there from Rockstar. Drops him 60 bullets right there. The push is coming in, right? The information is going to be found. Summit 1G going to be on the receiving end of Zapok right now. There's going to be one player who's going to be close to him right now. The reload has to come in to kind of stall out this kill, and I don't know how that third player right there just went down. Maybe it was to their own demise, maybe a molly, but I think it's now going to be just one single team left up against Zapok's team. I think it's going to be a 3v2. Rockstar's going to be taking a lot of damage right there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Now with an M700.
Well, we can play res on Psycho, but I need smokes actually. I need to grab like a...
Yeah, just wait for the smokes. You have like 1 minute.
Okay, let's go. I have 4 seconds.
I'm repairing my helmet.
Yeah, you good. Should be 1 minute.
Great comms there, but it's a full team of 3 on the other side. It's Gorilla, Nowhere, and Caffrey. Remember, that Nowhere, Gorilla, Caffrey team, they're in a pretty good position, actually, on the leaderboard in terms of loot value. Because, again, our top 3 are getting paid out. We have 6 total teams, and only the top half are making cash today. So if this team right here keeps stacking up their loot and at least just win the fight against Zap, they'll be in 3rd, which is great because they've got a sizable amount of loot, but they'll also be in position if they get the last brick to tie up Zap and potentially pass them on the loot leaderboard. There's still a lot on the line with 8 minutes on the clock in this game.
It's the under audio.
Okay.
Wow, they got the res.
Jump.
So now it's going to be a 3v3, right? Gorilla on the alt right there is going to try to make an aggressive play right there. He's going to be knocked, but I think Zapok and Ko are just way too far away from where Gorilla actually is going to be resin. Yeah, he's like across the map, by the way.
That's insane. Timpa's getting so much value.
Oh,
nice
Nowhere.
Hit the shots, finds him. Psychop goes down.
Remember, if he gets the finish right here, it's going to be a full kill onto Zykop, who's not going to be able to be revived after this. And yep, there it is. So,
nice. Yeah, they kind of ran, so I don't know where they ran to.
Maybe Nowhere can kind of look over there and get information. Because if he sees that it's a box, he'll know that this is now guaranteed to be a 3v2. And as you can hear, the comms are coming in. They're just going to kind of wait for the Luna alt here, that recon arrow, to give them information.
The door we were just at. I don't know.
Amazing.
Oh, let's just play this inside here.
Let's go.
Probably.
Can you burn like here? Burn for me?
Yeah.
Come on.
Underground.
Where are they hiding?
I want to go hit other switch if they're down to hit that switch.
We're playing ramp.
Oh, Gorilla gonna be finding some information with the roll right there. Very, very tricky. Now they know they're on the outside ramp. So they are going to kind of be held into this building. And I did hear Gorilla kind of talking about the switch. So thinking about an extract right now. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, it'll help your stash value out. But Nano Brick has kind of already been captured this match. So leaderboard-wise, you've kind of lost out on that. As
I'm holding behind you, bro.
Zapak and Rockstar now.
Well, it's like that's the main problem.
A lot of kills. A lot of kills. And trying to pick up 3 more right now. It's going to be pretty much their only objective for the rest of this game.
Wait.
Take this one.
They're literally playing like gun game right now because they have shot so much that they just don't have ammo.
Yeah, they've wiped like what almost every roster on the map.
I think. Well, let me think.
The problem is I cannot shot bullets on the bot.
I think they literally did.
Yeah, I know.
Or yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they've eliminated the other 4 teams, and now there's one more team in front of them. That's it.
Oh, the guy.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, the guy. He's hit again. I don't have any bullets.
Yeah, I mean, Caffrey just jumps out of the smoke right there. That's going to be very, very obvious. Gorilla, though, making great use out of that little information play. He's going to be finding the knock on the Zapak, and Rockstar runs with his knife out. He's like, dude, guys, I have no ammo. All right? Stop, man. All I have is a knife.
They just ran out of ammo. It's crazy.
I'm just gonna get my
nice cleanup. These guys needed it too. Again, I want to set the stakes. They're the last team on the map. They're going to try to get out on an extract here to set the stakes a little bit going into the last map. Zap's team just earned, golly. I mean, we can do the math, but I mean, they had at least what? 11, 12 kills, I think. So that's like 12 million. They're jumping up the leaderboard dramatically. Sammy's team barely sneaks out with their second mantle brick. They're going to be in first. Zap's team already has a mantle brick. Doesn't matter their loot value. They're going to be in second. This team is currently in third, and if they get out with the loot that they have, plus the kills that they grabbed,
Make sure you grab
they're going to be in third without a mantle brick, but a high loot value total. Meaning going into the last round, the leaderboard is ranked by mantle brick, then loot value. So if there's 2 teams tied with the same amount of mantle bricks, it goes by loot value. This team can still play for a second place position, even though they don't have a mantle brick going into the last round.
Yeah, crazy kind of way that this is going to play out in that last game. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure Zapak's team literally picked up like 12 kills because I think they full wiped 4 whole trios. Because the initial team onto the bridge, out of sight of Central, boom. Then they pushed Chap, got those 3 kills very, very easily. Then they pushed Sammy's team on the mana brick. They did not get the mana brick, but they got all 3 of those kills. And they pushed towards middle. They picked up that first knock onto Mendo, who was kind of looting the body. Then pushed over towards Summit. Oh, they missed that 1 kill, remember? Because I think the Allure Molly of his own demise like took him out. So they should have ended with around like 11 kills.
I think I forgot to grab.
That's crazy, man.
Okay. I'm gonna take this guy's ammo.
And now, I mean, hey, you know, Gorilla, Nowhere, and Caffrey trying to make the best out of the situation. Of course, going to try to get as much loot as they can. But I mean, you're effectively playing for second right now for sure. If you're any other team than Sammy and Zapak, I mean, Sammy has a huge advantage going into that last game with 2 mana bricks secured. But if Zapak is able to pick up a second mana brick in that last game, then it'll come down to stash value. Things get crazy at that point. Who knows what the stash value is kind of looking at right now? But
make sure grab the
you know, hey, this loot could actually play a big part too, extracting here. Because if Gorilla's team is able to pick a mana brick up next game,
yeah, they can
then all this loot, you know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. Everything kind of switches up. So a lot to play for here still.
Yeah, hey, look, if you're Team Summit, you're any of our teams, you're Team Breadman, you get if you get a mana break next round, you're making money. That's the thing to remember. Like, obviously, you're not coming in with a crazy amount of loot value. Really frustrating start for them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they can still make cash today. Top 3 getting paid out. You get a mana brick, you're top 3.
Play this together as best as possible.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, now it's a waiting game. 70 seconds.
I'm pretty sure she's. No one probably went up there. We got minute 3 left.
I think right now the only thing you can do is just stack your safe box here. Anything else you can. I would assume anybody that had dog tags put them in their safe box. You're not going to find those on bodies, but it's certainly part some guns.
Hopefully. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Ooh, here's all the loot.
Just let's assume everyone.
I was looking at some of the loot they had, and I was like, man, this is like, I think nowhere was at like 1 mil, and I was like, dude, there's like 12, 15 bodies down somewhere. Like, how are we not over 1 mil? But Gorilla finding some of the loot there.
Fingers crossed.
But they have no idea, by the way. He's like disarming stuff, and they're like, oh my god, there's somebody camping bridge. And they have no idea, and there's no way they can know. But yeah, dude, the lobby's been dead.
10 seconds left. Be ready to go.
7-6.
Gonna get out. Lots of loot. A great game for them. Still a lot to play for, folks. A lot going on here in our show match. This is, again, like I said, like a hybrid esports competition. Space City did not disappoint. A lot of action early, a lot of action late. And then we got to watch a team fully extract. I think the first time we got a chance to see that on main so far in our show match. Ben, going to you. Break it down for me. What'd you think of Space City for the first time in this crazy format?
Yeah, it was pretty spicy. We saw Zapok's team come out just killing so early. I think they got Breadman's team wiped within 45 seconds of the round starting. They tried to cross that central zip, got caught out. They got taken down. Then they rolled in and took out Chap's team, I think it was, about another minute later. It was just an onslaught from Zapok's team. And then they carried that on, obviously, with the wipe on Sammy's team, but a second too late, maybe. And then another wipe on Summit's team later on. But yeah, not enough. They needed to get the Mandel brick. But like you were saying, that's still queued up for a finish that could go either way. I think Sammy's team have secured second place now. But if Zapok's team can get a brick in the last game, they can still win it. And if Zapok's team don't get the last brick, then it could go to anyone, because it's anyone's to play for if they get that brick.
Yeah, I like that breakdown. Let's take a look at some of these replays. Like you said, it was a hot start. And Ben, I'll throw it back to you here. Zap's team just got aggro off rip, and it paid dividends.
Yeah, absolutely, and it gave them so much confidence. And then you could see also, as well as the fragging, just that tactical mindset came into it when they saw that decode going. The other teams were too wary. They didn't want to expose themselves and risk getting killed, and no one else was challenging that. So you saw Zapok's team have to come out, wrap all the way around the south of that middle quad area, and then come in to try and pressure Sammy's team. But they just got there with, like we said, just a second too late, and Sammy's team will be perfectly happy to take that wipe and get that brick out of there. This is just some of those clips from Zapok's team working their way through the lobby, taking out some bots there as well. And as you said on the broadcast, they were just having to swap out random guns, grab whatever ammo they could find, because they were just running out of everything.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, literally, they ran out of bullets on everything. Like, it's insane. Vivid, obviously, here's the cleanup on Summit's team playing from the backside. And I did get word, yes, it was an errant molly that kind of changed things there for that player, so wasn't netted the kill. And then, obviously, the final fight here was one to write home about for sure. A Gorilla using Tempest to its finest, Vivid.
Yeah, I mean, using Tempest was fine. It's pretty much just playing the game of attrition, right? Zapok and Rockstar literally just could not fight back at this point. Like, the end of this is just, it just speaks volumes to how this game actually went, right? Rockstar running with a knife out right there, and we know exactly why. As we go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard right there, Sammy's team picking up the mana break. That's going to put them on a total of 2. Did get 0 kills and, you know, did not extract because they went down shortly after. So that's going to be a -4 mil. But hey, look, Team Gorilla, Team Caffrey right there picking up 10 mil in assets. So we were kind of talking about the impact of that. And then, of course, Zapok's team thought it was 11, did a little bit of math. I was wrong. Apparently 10 kills on the match.
Yeah, this is Crazy. Obviously, like you said, this is a lot going on at the top of the leaderboard here. Sammy losing out on 3.8 is also going to open the door of opportunity for some of these other teams to still make a play for them. I say other teams, literally only one team. It's Team Zapok is the only team that's going to be able to make a play for Team Sammy, because Team Sammy is the only team with another brick. So big stuff here from game 3 and a big change for Team Caffrey. Let's take a look at the overall as well. And yeah, talk me through this because Ben, let's go to you. This is looking crazy, and this really does set the stakes for the last map.
Yeah, it looks really interesting now. We've seen kind of a mix there. Previously, the Mountain Bricks had only been taken by teams that had also got loads of kills, but then Sammy's team went for the 0-kill Mountain Brick last time, so they've lost assets and they're on 13 mil. Zapok's team got loads. Obviously, Caffrey's team, with that extract at the end there, they got out a load of value. So if Zapok's team are able to take this last brick, they've got that asset value going into this game. And then Caffrey's team really well set up here to challenge either for 3rd place or 2nd place, depending on where that final brick goes, of course. The other teams a little bit further behind there.
Yeah, I think, again, to set the stakes here, Vivid, it's still playable. Top 3 make money, right? Like, it's still playable for some of these players and some of these teams.
Every team can still get 3rd for sure. Team Caffrey can actually still get 2nd if they pick up a Mando brick. So, yeah, a lot to play for. Obviously, going into the last game here, one of the things that we don't necessarily talk a lot about, we talk about the asset economy here. The operator economy is going to play a big part here as well. Ben, go ahead and talk us through some of the operators that are left for some of our teams.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go for it, Ben. This is obviously the only time where we feel like there's a limiting factor now. Since we're only playing 4 games, there's still a lot of options, but talk to me about some of the limitations.
Yeah, we're quickly running out of Toxics here. We've got a couple of Stingers gone. You can see we've lost a couple of Tempest now as well, but still a pretty good mix. Because of the small amount of games today, it's given everyone options, and I guess we're going to see really combinations of the same operators running that we've seen in the previous games. We've seen a couple of Shepherds so far, has been maybe one of the more rare ones, but we haven't seen any Hatclaw, no Nox, no Seneva, and probably will continue that. I think there's some good options still for those teams to take, and I guess Zapok's team probably going to be looking to go for whatever the strongest setup they can, but they've got no Luna left, so I guess bringing in a Raptor is going to be the compromise there. But it'd be interesting to see their other choice. They do have a Toxic left. That's going to be a really big advantage for Zapok's team. Sammy's team doesn't have that. They lost 2 really good ones there, Uluru and Toxic, so going to be interesting to see how those top 2 teams choose their operators for the next game.
Yeah, Vivid, any final thoughts on the operator pool going into the last map?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Allure is definitely going to find some value there. We saw, that hallway, obviously, Raptor kind of making a little bit of an appearance there. Just be comfortable, right? It's game number 4. Some of our teams are still playing for that 3rd place spot. Just go ahead and, pick up your comfort picks at this point and, go ahead and end this last one. Have a little bit of fun with it. I'm actually really surprised we've made it through this whole competition without seeing Seneva, because we have seen incredible value from him and actually going ahead and securing some of those steals onto the Mana Brick before. No Nox either, no Hatclaw. I know there's a couple players in the tournament that play Hatclaw all the time. They're not playing Hatclaw on this, so...
hey, maybe in the last map. Maybe in the last map. Maybe. Been saving it for all the marbles. If any of the competitors are sitting in the stream while they're getting their loadouts ready and they're listening, I want to tell you this, and I'm going to tell all the viewers this again. I cannot emphasize this enough. Top 3 are getting paid out, okay? If you have a Mana Brick, you're at the top of the leaderboard, and then we're rating via loot value. If you have no money, you got nothing to your name, and you're going in, say you're going in with a recruit ticket. I don't care what you're using. You can get a Mana Brick and still make cash today. If one of our teams at the bottom, I'm going to use Breadman's team as an example. I love this team. Unfortunately, they've had some bad luck this tournament. If they get this Mana Brick, they're still making cash, even though they got basically no stash value. So it is still playable for everybody. This last map is very important. We've got 10 grand on the line, and Sammy's team has 2 bricks, but they are not safe. They can still lose if Zap's team gets the final brick. So stakes couldn't be higher. We know who has the best position, but it is still possible for anybody to make some cash. Back to Space City, though. A lot we can talk about, I think, before we start this map. Our players are probably going to take a little bit longer before the final map to get their loadouts ready. So, Ben, I want to go back to you here to talk to me about some strategy, depending maybe on where you're at on the leaderboard. Like, how does the strategy different if you're a team near the bottom versus Sammy's team who's at the top trying to play defense?
Yeah, I think hopefully we'll see the teams put a lot more focus on the Mandel brick. Last time, teams were being a little bit hesitant. We had to wait for sort of Zapox team to go and pressure that. Hopefully now they will realize, like you just said, any of those teams on anywhere on that leaderboard could still get third place just by grabbing a Mandel brick. Doesn't matter how much money they get, they've just got to get the decode. So that's got to be everybody's priority now. Money isn't really going to come into that positioning quite as much. And like you say, spawns also have a big impact on that. We saw teams wiped so early last game, maybe because of poor sort of route choicing right at the start. They could have taken more safer routes. So it'd be interesting to see how that affects people's decision making. If you got wiped out very early in the last game, then you might decide to go into this playing a little more cautiously because you don't want to end up like that again.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. And Vivid, I think my eyes actually turned towards Sammy's team. They're the only team that could play for loot, technically, because they have the advantage. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just thinking about how they could go ahead and secure the win. I really like that shot right there. Yeah, could just go ahead and stack up a bunch of reds and loot and gold and everything like that and just go ahead and make sure that they extract. Or kind of the secondary thing is just make sure Zapbox team does not get the mana break, you know, any means necessary. Go ahead and prevent that. However they do that. I mean, hey, listen, we don't know how it's going to play out. They could go ahead and secure a third mana break. That could be their win con. But yeah, definitely two different ways for them to go ahead and play this. It'll be interesting to see which one they actually go ahead and decide with. It's also kind of important to think about the fact that I believe the tiebreaker is based off of stash value. So if Sammy's team technically brings in less, they're risking less, they'll lose less if they lose, right? So
100%.
Kind of something to think about as well.
100%. That is a great shout. They could play defense, they could play protect by bringing in crap loot. It's just a little bit of kind of leaving the game into your opponent's hands, though, right? Like, I don't know. It's not my favorite play style. The best defense is the best offense in my mind. I'm going to get super aggressive if I was in their position, but I don't know if it's necessarily the best strategic play. Ben, what do you think? Do you think they're going to play slow or going to play fast?
I think they'll come in geared. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sammy's team not play so fast at the start. They don't really need to. They can wait and see who decides to go for the Mandel brick and they can play off that. They can pick up kills around the Mandel brick instead of looting because you're going to get 1 million for every kill you get. And then if they see Zapox team trying to go for that Mandel, then they can decide that they need to full commit. But if any other team is taking the Mandel, then they don't need to worry about it because they know they're still going to win. So I think they'll maybe take a measured approach, although, I mean, that's not an approach I've traditionally seen Sammy take, but we'll see how they play at this game.
That's so true, right? If it was anybody else, maybe we could think of some different strategies, but yeah, Sammy's not necessarily known to be measured. But okay, well, the game is getting started. I'll go back to you, Ben, one more time. Any final words for the competitors or the chat before we get into the final map of the day?
You know what? I want to see Zapox team come out storming like last game, rolling out in the lobby, and that confidence they got from that going out there, taking the fight to Sammy's team. I think that's what we want to see, and we have a big show off between those top two. I think it's going to be fire.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thanks, Ben, for the great analysis. Let's jump into the game, folks. Vivid, it's the last map of the day. We're only playing 4. They feel like they're going insanely fast, but we love Space City. I think we're going to see some early action again.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I've been kind of looking at some of the streams out there, kind of pondering around, seeing what the loadouts are looking like. I know. I'm kind of cheating. I'm not waiting for the information to pop up. Good friend Void, he's gonna be jumping in with a loadout that we kind of saw in the first game, right? Just like blue armor, a P90. He had 500 total alloy left after he was done buying everything. So he was definitely running on a budget going into this last game. So, you know, that kind of just sets up the storyline. If we see, you know, Breadman, Precision, and Void actually able to go ahead and secure a Mandel brick, they basically did it on a very, very limited amount of currency. So it would be awesome to see. But yeah, obviously some of our teams in a big advantage. Talking about the spawns, right? Space City, it's known for them. Sammy sucks. They're going to be getting this Westgate spawn over here, which I think is pretty good.
I can't believe that Zap and Sammy both got the closest spawns to the brick, technically. Obviously, we do see, I want to say that was Chap swinging across the zip through mid. So I'll be curious to see if maybe they get really aggressive here. Oh, and no, it's actually nowhere. Caffrey Gorilla going to get down to Buoyancy Lab first and be able to make a play pretty quickly towards the brick.
Yeah, I mean, all of these teams just got to be well aware of the stakes that are at hand here. They all know they need a mana brick. And this is risky right here, crossing this. Yeah, we do know that there can only be one team behind them. That's going to be that central team, which I think is Shap's team, as they cross this. Hopefully, they go ahead and make it across these pipes. The smoke is going to...
What the heck?
Not land on top of the pipe. Listen, this is tricky. If you play the smoke character, you can't throw it in between those pipes because it falls down. You have to make sure you land it on top of a pipe. So, Summit, probably not, you know, necessarily playing the smoke character before, does not know that, unfortunately. But now he knows.
Okay, that's nice. Let's go up and...
I respect Summit for competing today too, right? Like, he's been basically playing Delta Force for a week now. Has gotten, by the way, if you guys have been watching his streams, so much better. They've been crushing it recently towards the end of this week with this bingo against Hutch. Like Hutch said, getting kind of slammed by Summit in the competition. If Hutch, you're watching, you said it, not me. I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to see what they're able to do playing around mid. They're going to get pretty aggressive here. Here's where the brick is. It's dead center of the map. All around, again, I call this kind of the quad around Black Chamber, Centrifuge, Buoyancy, etc. Everybody getting aggressive here because they know it's at stake, like you said. Zap's team going to be kind of the latest to the party aside from Bread. Red Squad, again, the lowest gear on the map in terms of quality, may just try to play the third party and play nice and slow. They're also playing around the dormitory decoding station. So if somebody grabs his brick and tries to get out of dodge, they may walk right into the trap of Breadman's team.
Early on, though, we did see the boss being taken out. Was in the center right there. If that boss doesn't get taken out, by the way, the mana brick is effectively just guarded by the boss and go. So cool to kind of see that happen right now. But we can see a giant conglomerate of teams here towards the middle. But look at this, Sammy's team. We talked about which strategy are they going to play. They're going right for it. They don't care. They want to secure first place. And yeah, wow. That's actually a very good usage of the ult right there. You know, picking up the mana brick and returning back on the Tempest.
Really close. Could be up here. Could be up here. Stay tight. Stay tight. Stay tight.
Obviously, everybody knows that
when
somebody picks up the mana brick,
not really that close.
Everybody gets the timer.
You want dart?
Everybody knows where the mana brick is. Oh, they're going to plant. This is the outside position. This is the iconic decoding station at Space City. They're going to play it. They're going to start it. Decode has started, and everybody knows it's Sammy's team.
On the staircase.
Wow, this could play out very, very differently, right? Think about it. Gorilla's team right now, Caffrey's team, they're in third just based off the stash value alone. So if Sammy's team does pick it up, then they'll be in third. But at equal plays, kind of riding around right there, is going to pick up nowhere right there, which is going to be Gorilla's team. So Caffrey and Gorilla are going to try to fend off this push here from Equal and Chat. But as this is going on, remember, the mana brick is currently being decoded.
Plenty of time. But everybody knows. I saw some chatter in the Discord during our in-between time. Everybody was like, why did nobody attack faster on the brick? Anybody want to talk to me about that? And I think this time everybody's going to get pretty aggressive. It looks like all of our teams kind of swarming around this brick.
Smoke you out.
It's going to be, in the words of Ben, utter carnage as we get into it. Speaking of carnage, down goes nowhere. Gorilla is deep in trouble, but down... That Tempest is so valuable. Holy cow.
One here.
Yeah, they're going to be playing on the staircase right now. I think Equal is calling it. There's a player on the right here. I think they're both on the staircase. So I think it was... Is it a scav that's kind of making them play this entirely differently? If they knew that both players are on the staircase, they would definitely start to play this differently. Yeah, Scav, right, finally gets called in right now, so Equal's probably going to get the information needed to call out that both of them are going to be towards the staircase right now. And as I say that, Jadavai is actually going to go down while this push is coming in from Equal. Precision is going to be on the backside, shooting them in the back. Precision and Co, we know that they spawned over by dorms. They were kind of hanging out over there, but now they're finally trying to get into the mix of things, and Gorilla takes full advantage and takes out Chat.
Oh. It is chaos already, and this isn't even around the brick. It's in the neighboring buildings. You can see it right here. Breadman, Precision, and Voet.
Shit was smoked up.
Got an opportunity to make a big play as kind of the underdogs right now in this tournament. They're coming in with the lowest quality loot, the lowest stash value. Technically in last, but still a chance to play for some money if they're able to get the brick.
Oh.
What we're worried about, though, Getting really aggressive. Let's listen into their comms as they go for a 3v2 with one knocked.
Water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
Yeah.
They hit me with that they hit me with that ult. I'm gonna need some help here, LASIK. I'm gonna swing around him.
One down, one down.
Wow.
Huge pick.
Risky peek there from LASIK. I was like, no way he's doing this right now, but ends up getting the knock off of it. They lost possession of the mana brick, but hey, listen, they're going to be a trio still alive, so this is huge.
And this is exactly what happened in Zero Dam for them, right? They started the brick, they were able to back off, and then they get hit. Luckily, the fight gets crazy, and they're able to just back up and say, it's fine. They can just reset the timer. We got plenty of time to still play as a team. Now a full team of 3. Zap's re-upped as well. These are the 2 teams at the top of the leaderboard. Really important that they're able to stay alive and still play for the win. And we see Equal Plays doing the opposite, just playing to survive right now after getting pinched by Breadman's team.
Yeah, I mean, this 3-team fight that's kind of happening out here is just leaving the mana brick completely isolated, right? And actually, it's going to be a 4-team fight because now Mendo's team is over here. So this whole fight is just being invested into by every single team over here. And now Sammy's team and Zapbox's team are basically left in the 3v3 for the mana brick.
Precision picks up a big wipe there on Equal Plays. He'll know that's a wipe as well. Full teams out. So the 3v3 around brick, the most important fight. But the underdogs have come in and cleaned up a team. And now we've got 4 teams on the map.
Knock, knock, knock. Oh my gosh. Another snipe from Zapbox right there as Sammy tries to peek out. Pushing into here might not be so easy. They don't even have to, right? Just like, heck it. Yeah, you guys got to go ahead and res this. The timer is going to continue to dwindle on this mana break. This could end up being a fight for literally first place. And no, they're going to actually go ahead and opt to go ahead and push in. The Toxic ult to follow up behind. The snipe's going to be held out on the backside of the corridor. Zappa gets knocked on the backside of things. Muyo is going to be picking that one up, but LASIK goes down in return. It's going to be a 2v1. Muyo is the only thing left alive to kind of hold it down for Sammy's team right now in first place.
Cyclops going insane, but on the other side, a big fight. Gorilla and Caffrey down. It's nowhere, I think, versus Voet with the P90. Voet's going huge for the underdog team. They're still alive, and they're still fighting for third, but he's getting shot in the back. Voet able to dodge for now. Finds a peek over the top. A big takedown, but nowhere's not done yet. There's still players alive. The question is, who's the solo still alive for purple? Who's the solo still alive for Breadman squad?
Gotta be Precision, maybe. Or yeah, like you mentioned it, Breadman. Though it looked like he was going to be in his element right there. Very used to the P90. The Tempest disarm is going to come in. Precision's going to go ahead and pick up the Elim onto Caffrey right there. Luna Arrow is going to play a big part of this. It looks like it's going to be a 1v1. Precision's going to go in for the peek while he's on scan. That was risky, but nowhere. 50 HP and purple ammo loaded. The roll's going to be coming out over there to the left side of things. Head glitch versus head glitch.
Attention, operators.
Snipe misses.
One shot away from potentially winning this fight. Reminder, there's still a brick fight happening on the other side. We'll pop over if absolutely necessary. Something's happening over there that we're going to have to pay attention to. But this fight also matters quite a bit because we still have plenty of time on the decode, and Voet gets fooled. Gotta pay attention to the brick as well. Sure, we don't want to miss anything, and that's exactly, I think... Oh, no, wait.
Yeah. Sammy's team is...
Yeah, they killed Boy.
So
Sammy's team full out. Zap playing for the brick. It looks like Zap has full control over the brick right now. They will tie Mandel bricks with Sammy's team. And if they're able to stay alive on the map as well as get the brick, there's a chance. But the fight on screen, it does look like Precision gets fooled. And I want to say that's a full wipe on that team. Oh my gosh. Almost hero plays from Breadman Precision. Insane stuff from Voet playing the hero with the P90. Just couldn't quite grab this full team wipe.
Great stuff from nowhere there, and you can see they've got one thing in mind. They probably hear some of those shots going off up in the distance. They know some sort of fight just went down, but why worry about anything else other than this decoding station right now? 1 minute separates them and a chance. I'm not going to say it's a secured first place. It's a chance at second place. It's going to come down to how much they can actually extract from this game.
Yeah, 100%. And this is, I think, based on the map and all the fights we've seen, I'm getting confirmation. This is a true 3v3. We've gotten a full revive here on everybody for Nowhere, Caffrey, and Gorilla. It is Nowhere, Caffrey, Gorilla versus Zap, Psychop, and Rockstar. This is huge for many reasons. The main one is this. If Zap's team gets the brick, they have a chance to play for first. If this team gets the brick, they have a chance to take second and drop Zap's team all the way down to third place. A lot at stake here. We're talking about thousands of dollars in terms of pricing that will shift based on what happens in this 3v3.
Yeah, Gorilla's team is looking like they're going to try to rush up the ramp. They've only got 20 seconds to work with. They have to clean up this trio in 15 seconds and get on the brick. Gorilla gets knocked out. That's going to be the toxic ult, putting him very, very low. So that way the body shot is actually able to go ahead and find the knock right there. Does not need a headshot. So great shot right there with Gorilla knocked and only 5, 3, 2, 1 seconds remaining. Zapbox team has successfully secured the second mana brick. They are now tied up. And think about it. How important are these kills? 1 million apiece for the stash value. That could potentially put them in first place.
Watch out, Rockstar. No, don't.
Crazy stuff right now, and this is all ego plays. Now, if I'm obviously Gorilla's team, I want to make sure I don't know what's happened on the rest of the map. I don't even know if this is the only other team on the map, technically.
They're at the end of it.
I have to make sure I at least get third. And we know that. I assume they know that as well,
yeah.
Okay, let's go.
But if I'm Gorilla's team, we have to win this fight. Like, we have to take it as well. Because we need to make sure we have as much loot value as humanly possible. Kills are 1 million each. And if we can push ourselves up to where nobody else can touch us that fell earlier in this map, we at least make some cash. They know Zap's team got the brick, and therefore they're out of the conversation for anything top 2 related. But they can still play for third by making sure they have loot value and kills.
I think Team Caffrey was so far ahead of the other 3 teams. I think third is actually secured for them just based off of stash value right now. So the only team that this fight actually matters for is going to be Zapbox team. Because they need to extract. They probably need to get the kills because I don't know if they've actually looted anything. It looks like they're worried about the switch. They're worried about the fight that was just coming in right there. So yeah, it's just gonna be a matter of can Zapbox and co make sure that they find enough value in this match to overtake Sammy in first place.
Yeah, or at the very least, just extract in general. Like, if they can just get out of the map and protect all of the loot value that's already on their bodies, that could help a lot as well.
Okay, you hear me out? We just need to fight. We need to kill this last team and we extract.
Yeah, then they're talking about it. They know exactly what they need to do. They need to kill this team. They need to extract. That's pretty much it. Because, I mean, those kills, 1 million apiece, are just worth so much.
Yeah, this is a big moment. I totally agree. I mean, Zap says, we just need to do this. You're basically saying you need to do everything because you need to get the kills and extract, but I don't know the math. I don't want to start predicting anything. But if Zap's team gets wiped and does not extract at all, I don't know if they beat Sammy's team. It's going to be close.
Yeah, not sure either. And you see Nowhere knows that stash value is gonna play a factor in this, so they're trying to loot all of the bodies over here. There's probably there's literally like 3 or 4 teams over here in front of Buoyancy because this is just a giant fight on the map. So all the loot's pretty much over here, and Zapbox and co, they're gonna get early position on the extract with 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. The push has to come in. They actually have a Luna. Nowhere's going to be on the Luna right here, so it's going to be huge for value. I think he's going to actually get the scan onto all 3 players with that dart.
And Zap's team's obviously first to rotate to bridge. They could technically play over the top if they wanted to.
No, just stay here, Rockstar. Stay here, Rockstar, okay?
Oh my god.
I think the snipes are coming in from middle from Team Caffrey.
I just hear the...
This is so sneaky. This is a very annoying position to deal with for Team Caffrey. All right, as they're trying to push the extract, they've got this guy that's going to be offset over here, off to the side. That's going to be on permanent head glitches. So very, very annoying.
Here's a quick look. I love this perspective. We got free cam. We've got both teams' perspectives. Just trying to peek each other, paying attention to that extract timer.
Check above us.
And I wonder if I'm Zap as well. There's a chance we win even if only 2 of us extract. So Zap could just play this off angle the entire time. I know he doesn't want to risk that, but I think mathematically they could definitely get away with that. it might be worth playing pretty far on a
899, sending it
on a cross angle to try to get one on a pick. But here we go.
Yeah, Gorilla's going to be approaching from the other side over there. The dart's going to come out, try to get a ping here so Gorilla can try to find an angle on somebody. But because they're playing so spread apart, the Luna arrow actually only finds information on one of them. Nowhere's kind of questioning where could the other two be. Gorilla kind of pushes up enough to right under the bridge, and what a huge shot from nowhere. Finds out Rockstar, who's going to be sitting on the extract. The full kill comes in, so that extract's not going to be possible. But Zappak on the return side of things. Caffrey goes down right now. Now Zappak tries to get aggressive, does get aggressive. Nowhere goes down, and Gorilla's trying to hit some shots. But Gorilla has position on the extract. Gorilla's under the bridge.
What in the world? We've lost Rockstar. Psycop goes crazy, though. It's a trading of blows. We only got 28 seconds on the clock. Nowhere goes down. Where's the angle underneath? Insane stuff from this roster to be able to get the kills and get the extract, I believe. Holy cow. And in time before the map ends, I mean, this team really did it all this map, and they needed to do it all in order to secure the win over Sammy's team. This will likely be a champion moment in that final fight. Pure cinema. They needed to do everything that they did, and they nearly perfectly executed their plan.
Yeah, everything they could have asked for right there. Even though they fought, even though Rockstar ended up getting fooled right there at the end, was able to get the res off with like a second remaining, so they all get out full value in hand. I think after those 3 kills come in, the fact that all 3 extracted, I would now be surprised if they're in first place.
I agree. Ben, what do you think about that one? Obviously a banger last map, and it didn't quite play out like I thought it would. Breadman's team almost played crazy spoiler on that map.
Yeah, crazy ending there. We saw obviously fighting over the extracting not really been very high on anyone's priority list over the course of the tournament, but last game they need to maximize the money they get, so that is a real issue. And you know, like you talked about, there was a genuine contest there between trying to take second on the leaderboard or push the third while the Mandelbrick was still up, and then even right at the end there was still a chance to try and fight for extra money to get into that third spot. But the early game was kind of dominated by that big fight that distracted everyone out the north end of Buoyancy. Loads of teams fighting there, and then it just became this 3v3 between Zapok and Sammy's team, and Zapok's team came out on top there.
Yeah, let's take a look back at some of those replays too, because it started here. Obviously, we were a little bit worried about the pipe crossing, but this is where things really kicked off, right? Sammy's team decided to say, hey, fortune favors the bold yet again. We're going to use Tempest to get the brick. We're going to plan it, and we're going to start things off. Obviously, we got a chance to see this kind of alleyway position that is very difficult to hold in some ways and has some really engaging fights. But Ben, back to you here. This is where things got real messy for a couple of our teams.
Yeah, this fight was going on for quite a while, and I think we had 3, maybe 4 teams got involved at different points. This is just jumping back when Zapok's team were making that push up onto the brick there, and some of the Tempest plays we saw during this, they go so far. We saw it with the Mandelbrick being taken there. We saw, I think it was maybe Gorilla or someone go flying up the staircase. You can just go absolutely miles, but yeah, because of this big fight out here, this kind of just let the 2 teams in the middle, the 2 teams fighting for that top spot, essentially fight it out. And we saw some huge sniper knocks from Zapok. There was one, and that was the second one on Sammy. We saw an early one on Mew Mew that got revived, but after that one on Sammy, I think that's the one they pushed in and then ended up getting traded out and dominated that area. And then we ended up in this final fight. There's Mew Mew actually taking the Mandelbrick there, but I think that's where they got caught out and wiped in the end.
Yeah, they had to go for the reset there just to reset the timer. And there's Nowhere as well. I mean, think about how many times Nowhere, Gorilla, and Caffrey were in trouble on this map too, Vivid. I mean, to be able to be almost last alive and play for this final fight, I think that snipe right there kind of thwarted any sort of advance where they just had to relent and say, fine, we'll at least stay up and try to play for this final moment. But Vivid, talk to me about this final fight. Obviously, it was chaos as well, but this knock really opened things up. We thought for this side of things, for the Nowhere side of things.
Yeah, I mean, just unfortunately, Zapok's team was able to get control over pretty much the entirety of the outside over towards the bridge, right? And the fact that the Luna arrow kind of coming in from the side of Nowhere, they only kind of picked up that one single player's information. The other angles were just way too hard to kind of deal with after that point. They're kind of just running into the extract, hoping for the best there. And yeah, Zapok's team just positioned very, very well on the extract at the end there. They knew exactly what they needed to do, executed perfectly.
Yeah, really well done from that team. And yeah, Ben, I mean, obviously we're waiting on the final rulings here, the final math that has to be done in our lobby to make sure that we have our winners. But we know our top 2 no questions asked. And I think we know our third no questions asked. I mean, talk to me a little bit about that Guerrilla Squad. They did a really good job of staying alive. Obviously, they lose the final fight, but they stay alive all the way until the final fight and have crazy loot, by the way, in almost every single map.
Yeah, we were seeing them at the end of pretty much every game, right? They were one of the last 2 teams remaining in most of the games today. And despite not coming out with the Mountain Brick in any of them, like you say, they built up a huge amount of money, just getting those kills, chipping away at it. And like we saw, just having that big payday you get from those kills just really made people focus on getting those, not running off and looting. There wasn't really too much value in that. It was about taking the PvP and winning those fights, and that's going to work out really well for Guerrilla's team, I reckon.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It'll be fun to really look at those scores and officially declare our champion. Of course, I think we all know what has happened based on the way that map ended. But either way you look at it, Vivid, what do you think about this format, dude? This was nuts. I mean, it was breakneck speed. We only had 4 maps, so if you go down early, it's a little tough to get back into it. But overall, some great action.
Yeah, it was super fun. I feel like the economy changes, right? The fact that everybody kind of got those 1 million technicalities after every single game kept everybody kind of in some loadouts. That was pretty fresh. They didn't necessarily have to worry so much about looting. Of course, looting and stash value did end up playing a part in this specific competition because of how the leaderboard ended up panning out. So kind of something to play for there as well. But yeah, it just kept everybody super aggressive because, you know, 1 million technicality as well for a kill. And then on top of that, 150,000 for a dog tag. Yeah. Just played exactly to how I think that everybody kind of wanted it to when they talked about how the format was going to play out. Just wanted everybody to be aggressive, play for the mana bricks, and just keep it rolling throughout.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think, too, I mean, a fun thing to talk about, look, this was on NA servers. Like, this is mostly NA teams, and I think our champions may not have been North American. Let's take a look at it. Who won this entire tournament? 4 games. They get 2 bricks. They got a ton of loot. It is Team Zapok with Psychop, Rockstar. All 3 players put on a show for us today. And frankly, this was a team effort underneath Zapok's leadership there. Not a surprise to me. I expect this team to at least be top 2, but they were able to get the win. Ben, talk to me about this team's efficacy and actually walk me through the leaderboard in particular, because at the end of the day, this is the overall leaderboard. It wasn't all that close.
Yeah, I mean, we say it's not close. In terms of money, obviously, Caffrey's team had so much, but it's the Mandel bricks that it comes down to. And then that gap between Zapok's team and Sammy is, pretty big in the assets in the end. A lot of that comes down to maybe that 0-kill Mandelbrick game that Sammy's team had in our first Space City, and then Zapok's team just had 2 really aggressive games in a row, getting a whole bunch of kills, and then huge amount of assets there. But great work from Caffrey's team. They've played that really well. Realized they couldn't get those Mandelbricks, but just secured that 3rd place, and that's money. That's leaderboard.
Yeah, and Vivid, obviously something we can shout here. I mean, you probably see it too. What if Team Caffrey would have grabbed that last brick?
Yeah. I mean, not even just that last brick, any of the other bricks, right? We saw their reluctance to kind of play for the brick in a lot of those games as well. They could have came out with a little bit of an extra prize pool right there. But yeah, the fact that they came out with the most total assets is incredible right there. Is going to be securing them 3rd place. And I mean, the difference and how much they actually were able to come out with over the course of the day and some of the other teams is incredible.
Yeah, and again, it's like, man, there's so much at stake in that last round and that last fight, even before the Mantle Brick, was if Team Caffrey gets it, they technically beat Zap, and push Zap down to 3rd too, which is crazy, even just in that last round. But anything could have happened on any of the other maps. Remember, Zap's team also killed Sammy's squad inside on our first Space City map, and they still got the code with literally 1 second. I mean, a 1 second difference changes the game. Thousands of dollars potentially going to a different team. But we got to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Zapok himself. Dude, Zap, it is great to have you back in the booth. You and I have had a chance to talk many times on LAN, in person, and online. How does it feel to get a show match win in this crazy format?
It feels very good actually. I enjoy like the show match so much. Even with my teammate Rockstar and Psychop, it was like crazy. And thanks Delta Force actually like to do some stuff like this because, for example, like Summit, like first time also like trying some new game Delta Force and also some new mods. So it's very good actually also like for the games, and love it.
Yeah, awesome stuff there. Congratulations again, Zapak. Talk to us a little bit about the team dynamic, right? You and the other two on the team. Talk about how like maybe the operator decisions kind of played out, the decisions around the map, right? The IGL, and kind of how that played out for your team and why it was so successful.
I mean, we just play basic Delta Force. Basically, we try to have like a balanced team. So one recon, one support, like which is a smokes, like toxic or like Stinger, and we have like Psychop play assault like a bunch of times on pubs. So we were putting like a Rockstar on recon since he played Delta Force a long time ago. I was playing smokes and tried to IGL the team, and Psychop was just like frying and entry frags.
And for those watching, like obviously you guys were out there fragging crazy, particularly those last 2 games where you had a ton of kills. Have you three, do you play regularly together? Was this a team we had to grab together last minute, or are you old school, been playing for years?
I play a bunch with Psychop because we don't have that much friend player on the game. So I play a bunch of time with Psychop. Rockstar, I never play with him. It was actually like first time playing with him. So we just actually like try to have like some good rotation. We can catch up people because the space is very open field area. So if people are like open field, it's very easy to kill them, and the job works actually. So.
Dude, you guys absolutely crushed it. I loved all the calls as well. That final setup fight. Talk to me about what you were feeling, obviously, or maybe what the conversation was. We heard a little bit of the comms, but break down the final moment. You're guarding the mantle brick. You just wiped Sammy's team. You know you have a position to win the game as long as you have solid loot. What were the comms like when you were protecting that final mana brick, and then when you got it, knowing that you got to get out of here? We got to make sure we have enough loot.
The comms was like I was trying like to help like Rockstar and Psychop to positioning, so we have like good positioning like to avoid like other teams to come. We hear a team like just pushing up ramp, like it was like the Gorilla team. So we just like completely rotate, take better positioning like to avoid them like to take the break. And after that I was just like the comm was like just guys, we need to pull, we need to extract because Sammy's team have a lot of money and we need to go out like to win. So we just go for the pull instantly, try to take the rotation like to have like the extraction like position, and it works. So it was perfect.
W. Hey, I listen, man. I loved it. I thought you guys did a fantastic job. It's great to see you back on a podium again. I want to give you a second here. Obviously, you play a ton of Delta Force. Shout out yourself. Shout out your teammates. Where can people find you and your teammates? I know you guys all stream and play Delta Force quite a bit, so shout yourself out. And feel free to, of course, speak in French if you'd like.
Yeah. Big shout out to Rockstar. You can find him on Twitch. Same for Psychop. He's like a French streamer also on Delta Force. And for myself, I stream Delta Force almost every day. Try to do like all the time tournaments. Try to be pro on the game actually. So just you can find us on Twitch all the time. We are streaming. And merci à tous les fans français. On vous aime les gars. Et puis installez le jeu. Hein. Install the game and try it, guys. It's a very good game. So.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks again. Congrats again. And I'm sure we'll see you in some future competitions, maybe not too far away. Thanks for jumping in with us.
Thank you, Gaji. Thank you, Vivid, and thank you, the Brigade.
Yeah, congratulations.
Cheers. Cheers. All right, that was Zap representing his team. Obviously, Psychop Rockstar played a big part in their win.
Thank you.
Ben, what do you think about the interview? Obviously, great guy, representing the Frenchman very, very well, and a big win for them today.
Yeah, I'm hyped to see Team EU come out on top. I love that. We got a chance to meet Zapok when we were out in China for the event last year. I think you said earlier he was coaching the NA team, I think, then.
Yeah.
But yeah, great to see him win. I think the way they chose to play, you know, there was smart tactics there, good aggression, great snipe hits. I think it was well-deserved in the end. You know, good fight from the other teams, but I'm really pleased to see Zapok's team come out on top there.
Yeah, they certainly earned it. I mean, Vivid, any other reactions to the interview? It seems like he knew exactly what they needed to do, and they were able to execute it.
Yeah, I mean, just seemed cool, calm, and collected. Kind of talked about how he had some chemistry there. One of the teammates knew that the third there played Delta Force before, so coming into this, definitely felt really, really confident. Just had a straight up, you know, textbook kind of play style. They were like, hey, listen, we just came in and we just played typical Delta Force. had kind of the layout for the operators that they wanted to go ahead and choose, making sure, you know, smokes, recon was kind of in the mix right there. And the individual skill definitely was the most important thing right there. We saw it in games 3 and 4 specifically, where just the kills were flying in for them. Definitely well-deserved win for the trio there.
Totally agree. Well, before we wrap, we got to show the overall pricing for all 3 of our teams that made some cash today. Of course, thank you to all of our creators for competing today. But the 3 teams making money, Team Zapok, Team Sammy, and Team Caffrey. 6K, 3K, and 1K for our $10,000 prize pool. You earned it, gentlemen. We had some mantle bricks for the 2 teams at the top, and then a crazy amount of loot. The most, by the way, in the entire lobby for Team Caffrey. So big congrats to all 3 of these teams and all 9 of these players. You're at least walking away with a little bit of cash for all of your efforts in these crazy, chaotic, carnage-ridden 4 games of this crazy esports hybrid format that we created. So yeah, proud of these guys. And thanks for everybody, Shamit, Mindo, everybody that competed, Breadman and his whole team. It was a lot of fun to watch all of you compete, and I think it was actually, frankly, very, very close. But I want to thank both of you gentlemen as well. Thanks for joining me in the booth today. This was a chaotic one and a lot of fun. I want you guys to give a chance to kind of wrap up the show. Any final words for the broadcast? Vivid, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun. Like the format, right? Kept everything rolling. I am super, super happy, and I definitely think Zapog deserved it. But you know, listen, man, my boys, they disappointed me, right? I had so many teams stacked up with them, and they're not gonna come out on top. I mean, come on, just disappointing stuff. But absolutely fun 4 games to go ahead and watch. There it was super, super just awesome to go ahead and watch how all of that unfolded.
Yeah, a lot of fun. The Beard Guy's been... I need you to not only give me your wrap-up, but also shout out yourself, man. You make some great videos as well as a content creator. It was great to have you here in the booth with us for the first time with Delta Force.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure to be on my first proper Delta event. But yeah, I think the format worked really, really well. I enjoyed watching that. I'd like to see more of that. I think particularly when you have it with, you know, streamers and those kinds of people who, you know, play a bit differently to, you know, esports pros. I think that dynamic works really well. And if you want to catch me, I'm going to be jumping back onto Delta Force for YouTube and streaming in the new season. That's kicking off, I think, February the 3rd. So just a couple of weeks time. And you can find me on YouTube, www.youtube.com/thebeardguys. Same on Twitch. And you can find my videos, lots of guides there, and live streams as well.
Awesome, man. Thank you both for joining me. I'm sure we'll see you all in the near future for some more Delta Force competitions. Absolute pleasure, gentlemen. Woo. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. A long day, but a good one, folks. And listen, it's just you and me now. All right, chat. And I gotta say, you guys have been great today. It's been a lot of fun. We had our developer live stream with our brand new season Morphosis. We got a lot of new content, which is crazy. We got an expansion to Space City. You can start swimming around with, I think, sharks or something in Space City. There's some nuts stuff happening with this brand new season. So I want to remind you one last time, now's the time to jump back into Delta Force. Download Delta Force right now on basically every single platform you can think of. Epic Game Store, you got the iOS App Store, the Android Google Play Store, you got it on console, you got it on PC on Steam, you can just download it off the PC launcher on their website. Folks, there's no more excuses, all right? You can go beat Sammy at his own game. I don't know what to tell you. Now's the time to jump back into Delta Force and try out this brand new season that's right around the corner. February 3rd, by the way, is that brand new season. That's when it drops officially for everybody worldwide. A lot of new content and a new Warfare map as well if you're a Warfare fan. But got to download the game, obviously, to try out the season, but also drop a follow on all major socials. We got all of them, and we love all of them. Some great content on TikTok and Instagram, some great guides on YouTube, as well as some information around anti-cheat, DMA shield, secure boot, everything you need to play Delta Force at its finest. So make sure you go follow all major socials here with Delta Force. You can drop a follow on whatever live stream you're watching on as well. We've got shows all the time. So get ready for more esports competitions as well as more show matches as we get later into the year, folks. You're not going to want to miss it. And if you don't want to miss it, you got to drop a follow. But the final reminder that I have for you, as always, is that we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. So thanks for tuning in, folks. And I think I'll see you next weekend for some esports competition. You're not going to want to miss it.
Gorilla finds a return kill onto Voit. So now we have one knock on each side.
Because We're on a streamer POV, so we don't have the X-ray. It's just what we can see from these players.
There. A great shot is actually returned on to Sammy right there to go ahead and force him off of the position. Sal's got to get on the brick to go ahead and stop this capture from Muyo Muyo's team.
Oh, what if
they finally know about Alb up top? Alb going to go ahead and ditch out of the window right there. Muyo Muyo going to be shown.
Player. Let's see what they're able to do. Is it does look like somebody stole? That's a great question. Nice angle over the top here. Oh, nice pickup. One down. You can make a move for the retake on the brick. Oh my gosh. He's aggressive. He's getting excited. Two pushing up. Nice trades. Hit the retake this steal. They know they have an advantage. They got to push it. One traded out. It's going to be a 2v2. But
they are fully aware that there is a solo somewhere because they can see the two bodies on the ground. He's going to go ahead and
reset this quick. You got
a big pickup. That Sammy's team fully wiped, I believe. And that's the value of Tempest. What a steal.
Yeah, go for it.
He's while also not losing your life. Chat J Device, where are you? Hello, I found you again.
Only 15 seconds left, right? The trade does come in. There's going to be a solo left. He's going to be on the mana break direct. That zipline kind of puts you. So they're going to be going ahead and try to put themselves in an aggressive position here. And
he said we would take the zip early and throw the smoke to try to cover, but it just wasn't enough. So it did less than 60 seconds ago. Holy cow. Oh, no way.
Oh, man. Zap. Unknown Zapot going to be going on the aggressive right now. Has no armor. Equal laying down, trying to find some cover. Maybe trying to rat right now. So far, this whole team.
Rosters. Both of those teams are out of this lobby, folks. It's not. Oh, there's
9 seconds. Tempest. This arm does come in, right? So a team is interested in going ahead and push this. Lasik is trying to fend off right now. Knock onto Rockstar. This is going to be Zapot's team. 2 seconds remaining. Can Sammy's team stay alive to go ahead and see underneath? He did. That's going to be Psych Up. So he's going to be playing third party right now. Mendo finds a knock right there. But, I mean, this map is kind of all about kills right now as Mendo is going to be looting a body in the... What are you doing, bro?
Looking for some loot.
Wow. Rockstar drops some 60 bullets right there. The push is coming in, right? The information is going to be found. Summit 1G going to be on the receiving end of Zapok right now.
Tempest getting so much value.
Oh, nowhere. Yeah, that's going to be very, very obvious. Gorilla, though, making great use out of that little information play. He's going to be finding the knock onto there, but now they're finally trying to get into the mix of things, and Gorilla takes full advantage and takes
still a chance to play for some money if they're able to get the brick. What we're worried about, though.
Now here is just leaving the mana brick completely isolated, right? And actually, it's going to be a 4-team fight. Sammy's team and Zapok's team are basically left in the 3v3 for the mana break.
4 teams on the map.
Knock.
Oh my gosh.
They're still alive, and they're still fighting for third, but he's getting shot in the back. Void able to dodge for now.
They're going to try to rush up the ramp. They've only got 20 seconds to work with. They have to clean up this trio in 15 seconds. Where could the other two be? Gorilla kind of pushes up enough to right under the bridge, and what a huge shot from nowhere. It's not going to be possible. But Zapok on the return side of things. Caffrey goes down right now. Now Zapok.
Crazy, though. It's a trading of blows. We only got 28 seconds on the clock. Nowhere goes down. Where's the angle underneath? Insane stuff. It is Team Zapok with Psychop, Rockstar. All 3 players put on a show for us today. And frankly, this was a team effort.